Alright, everyone, here we are for MMC Power Rankings with Steve. Hi, Steve.
Hey yo, how you guys doing? Uh,
I hope you're ready for some waffle session.
yeah, honestly, real. I don't think we'll be able to match your 7-hour PRs,
Oh, I really hope we
but
don't.
yeah, I feel like I can't talk that long, bro. My throat starts to hurt. Only you can waffle that long.
Yeah, before I sat down to record with you, I already grabbed my 2 liters of water next to me, so I can go.
I probably should have done the same, but we'll ball.
Yeah, but we'll do it a lot quicker. I hope so, at least.
Yeah, we'll hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if we need to cut it halfway short and do the rest at a later time, we can always just do part two.
Yeah. Anyway, let's start just off with the first team. Arcaniner. What do you think?
I have very mixed feelings because, like, on one hand, it is just very similar to my GWA team, which I am very partial to. I just feel like it lacks some immediate power. Like, Latios is solid. Like, as much of a fraud as this mon has been this generation, it served me well in GWA. But I feel like you just need to, like, I don't know, it's hard for me to think about. Weavile, I love that guy. Excadrill, Diet Treads. Like, I feel like this team has the potential. I just feel like not having any top tiers.
Yeah.
And then just having so many, like, middle tier mons, it's just like it's just mid. Like,
yeah,
that's no other way I can say it.
you look at the team and you're like, yeah, good mons, but what am I really scared of? Like, sure, you can have a really bad matchup into a Latios or a really bad matchup into Weavile, but if your team is semi-balanced, you shouldn't be swept by one of those Pokemon.
Yeah, like I could see this team getting into like a slugfest, like with certain teams on like that we have coming up, but like I'm not like inherently terrified of like anything on this team. Like, no Terra Arcanine, like that thing is okay, but it's not like
Ter-
a world breaker. Same thing with Heracross.
yeah, Terra less
Like,
Arcanine is kind of okay, to be honest. It's just a lot better with Terra, but like without Terra, it can be do really well as a defensive Pokemon. But like Heracross needs Terra.
and then like even Staraptor, not like without Terra, like it's not as strong, and especially when you're not getting stabbed on close combats. Venusaur is a solid mon. Like I'm a big fan of like Raikou, and then like Excadrill is okay. I'm not a huge fan of it, mainly because like it's just too slow.
Like, it's a bit of a weird team. Like, you say you could see it go into like slugfest with some teams. I kind of miss some bulk, to be honest. Like, you have to rely on defensive Excadrill or like defensive Raikou and then Arcanine, Venusaur. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
I
kind
feel
of
like
lacks an identity, but they are all really cool Pokemon thrown together, except for Mimikyu. We dislike Mimikyu.
yeah, I'm always the way I sort of feel about it is like I like this team a lot more than I think that it's like good, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, this is a team I would have fun playing, but I don't think it's like that good. It's not like the worst team I've ever seen, but I feel like if you were to like do a little bit of roll compression, like maybe drop, say, like Staraptor, Heracross, get like a top tier and then like a low tier mon, like I feel like that would help you out a lot.
Yeah. I mean, we could also just say that he is the best Latios player in the world, because like we did price it at 16, while other leagues always have it higher. So maybe he sees Latios as a really top tier, and he knows things we
Possibly.
don't. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I mean, like, if I had to change like one thing, I could see like I don't know exactly if this would work, but maybe like dropping something and then picking up like Roaring Moon. Like,
Yeah, I would budget around a lot more. Like, drop Latios for like a Roaring Moon, and then drop Raikou for like maybe a Terra Kilowatt Roll or a Terra Jolteon, because I don't think Mimikyu needs to Terra. Although it is cool, because we did lower it to be allowed to Terra. So maybe it does really well. But I feel like you
Yeah.
could probably get a cheaper electric type, even though the speed that Raikou offers is really good.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of like Raikou. Like this thing has like surprised me a lot when I've used it. I just feel like on this team in particular, I feel like you're going to be running like bulky Raikou a lot more than you would like want to, because the benefit of Raikou is that you have speed alongside solid bulk that you can like still have like decent offensive power. Like you don't need to run like special defense investment to still eat special hits. But I think you're going to just be defaulting to the max HP, max defense, like Calm Mind variant if you try to do something offensive. And if that like stops you from running like Roar or like other like utility sets, and I feel like that will be kind of to your detriment.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. It's just a team that lacks, like you mentioned, immediate breaking power, but they have some cool mons. And one of the things that I do like about these teams is like you can kind of expect everything to come. It's not like there are some filler mons, so you do have to prep for all 10 of them, I think.
Yeah, because even like, you know, the low tier with Samurott and everything, like you have to respect it with Terra. Like
I love Samurott, but it being your only water type is kind of rough.
Yeah, I was thinking sort of the same thing. I was even thinking like, you know, Rotom Wash wouldn't be the worst thing to get, like instead of like Raikou or something like that. But like, I get for like your speed, like these are just like different particular ideas. You'd have to like change up other things to fill speed tiers, but like just throwing out other ideas.
If he has to play Milk and their Chiyu, he's in trouble.
Yeah,
But I do really like the team. Not really the team. I like the mons that he drafted. Like,
yeah, I agree there.
It maybe lacks some synergy, but they're all good enough mons, and they're cool, so I quite like it.
Yeah, I rate it. Like I feel like together it's not going to be like the best thing ever, but I do rate it.
Yeah. What do you think? As for Samurott, or are we doing real tiers?
I would rather do real tiers, but
fine.
if you want to keep it, this is your channel after all.
It's fine. So what are we doing?
I could see it being like a C tier.
Yeah.
Like for now.
C tier, low B tier. I can see that too.
Mm-hmm.
Let's put it in C and just see how it stacks up.
Yeah, I like that. I'm not like 100% sure about what things could go lower, but to be fair, I also haven't like taken that close a look at the doc yet.
I haven't
like fully
bit of an idea
it.
what could be lower, but it's fine. All right, next team. That's yours.
Foreshadowing.
Your team up next.
You talk about this one. I feel like I'm biased.
I really like your team. What I don't like about it, like we mentioned that when we were talking during the draft, your team is slow.
Yeah.
I don't love that, but like Kyurem is insane to switch in on. I wanted it myself if I didn't get Dragapult, foreshadowing again. But like I wanted Kyurem. And then to pair that up with Blaziken, have fun switching in on those two Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. That was sort of my thought too.
Yeah. And then you have Corviknight for pivoting and be a really good defensive Pokemon. Cornerstone can be offensive, but it can also be a bulky pivot. Because Sturdy is nice and it's not bad defensively. Like Rock Grass is decent enough. Like Cradily could be annoying. So I can see how being a Rock Pond can be a defensive piece as well if you really want it to be.
It's also a solid like lead spike option.
Exactly. And then Enamorous Incarnate. Good fairy, strong. I'm not the biggest fan of it. But
yeah, I'm not either. I used it in a league where it was allowed to free Terra, and even then, it wasn't good.
I mean, it did win. It did win the GWA season where we had high tier Terra. Terra Fairy Enamorous went in, but like you have Terra less Enamorous, luckily. So.
Yeah, and like I feel like on this team it might be able to thrive a little bit better because I feel like this team is fairly balanced to where I could run it like with the physical contrary variant.
Oh yeah, very true.
While also, like I feel like I can run multiple different things with Enamorous, and like this was kind of like the best fairy available at this point. Like I don't know if Clef was still Clef wasn't available
Clef really early, yeah.
Yeah, and I knew for a fact I wanted like a solid like fairy to like make my Dragonsteel fairy core like insane. So I was fine dumping a good amount of points into an Amorous.
I mean, it also helps
Looking
with your
forward to
speed.
give it a shot.
Like, your other offensive Pokemon, Kyurem and Blaziken, are slow, so it helps that you have a fast offensive Pokemon.
Yeah, the fact that an Amorous is considered fast at like 106 speed is kind of sad, but
I mean, it is still decently fast. There aren't many Pokemon that are faster than an Amorous. Or that many.
yeah,
So, I think you're fine.
yeah, it's only like the big speed tiers, like the really big speedsters.
And it's still an Enamorous. Like, it isn't bulky, but it's also not really frail, I think. Let me see. Enamorous.
Yeah, it's not gonna get O-code by much.
74, 70, 80. I mean, it is quite frail. I may be lying.
It is. Yeah, it is very frail.
It's similar
but, like,
to
it's not gonna.
Infernape.
Yeah, but it's not gonna get O-code by anything, and it's not quad.
Weak to
It's
something.
not quad weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like a Lando or anything like that.
Yeah.
So like I could live like an ice shard from like a Weavile. Like I could live one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I also think it's like, it's something that you have to respect in prep, both on the special and on the physical side. And combine that with Kyurem, can also be physical or special. And even Blaziken can be specially offensive too. So it's going to be hard to find designated checks for your offensive pieces.
Yeah, so many of these things can be ran like physical or special or even mixed.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the amount of times I've seen people run like the contrary, like superpower and Amorous, but then like deciding to run
Still
like
Moonblast. Yeah.
Yeah, and then still just running like max special attack, and because you're going to be boosting your attack anyways, so like you don't need to run that much like attack investment. Like I've seen people do that before to fairly nice success. And then like Healing Wish for something like Blaziken or Kyurem. Or even like Corviknight.
Or even the Ogerpon to get your sturdy back.
Like I feel like it's just a very good like piece for my team. Like my team can do a lot of different things, and it's just like figuring out what exactly I'm cooking for a week
especially
in particular.
Because like even below that you have Blastoise, which is in my opinion your defensive water type, but it having Shell Smash as well. It can both be physical and special too, so it's one of those Pokemon that you also have to respect. You have a lot of Pokemon that can do a lot of things, so it's going to be very hard to just, like, for example, you have teams like mine, for example, if we go into my team later, it's going to be difficult to predict which 6 I am bringing, but when you see the 6 that are coming, you have a good idea what sets I'm going to bring. If you see the 6 that you are bringing, it's still going to be difficult to see, which set does he bring?
Yeah, because like you could see me run like be absolutely like fucking insane and run like Choice Band Blaziken, but like throw on like Overheat or something just because why not? Because I don't want to take recoil damage or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and then Overkill is a really good hazard setter.
Yeah, like Overkill is just solid defensive poison type.
It's a really good Pokemon. Only being weak to ground when you have a Corviknight. That's fine.
That's probably one good thing about having so many flying types is that I can afford to have like a few more like ground weak mons.
I love having multiple flying types. It always makes me weak to Stealth Rocks though, but I love having multiple flying types.
Yeah, I hear you there. I hear you.
And I think your Terra Caps are good. I really like Piloswine. Like, Mamoswine is really annoying to switch in on. Piloswine is as well. Sure, it's weaker than the Mamoswine, but it's a lot bulkier. And with Terra Ground, you can run some Super Stab Earthquakes. So, I really like this thing. And then you go Terra Water to be really bulky. And Terra Flying is cool. I don't specifically remember why you wanted Terra Flying. But you did talk about it.
I just thought it was like good for like fighting types mainly, while it's still also like it's then a flying type again that is not weak to ice because of thick fat.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
And then electrics don't want to come in against my Piloswine because earthquake.
Same with rock types, yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like it's just generally like solid, and then like I wouldn't say like it's the best type in the world. I feel like there are other types that I probably could have made. Like I was also thinking of possibly going grass type for the
Tick Fat as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would have maybe gone Steel for defensive type and also to neutralize the fire weakness with Tick Fat.
Yeah, and I was also thinking of that, but I just didn't like how so many of the weaknesses overlapped, like with fighting and stuff like that. Fighting, and then like being weak to ground, I wasn't a huge fan of.
Yeah, and to be honest, if you need the Steel type, you still have Corviknight, so...
Exactly, like why would I go Terra Steel when I have Corviknight there?
Yeah, Hisuian Electrode, Electric Ice Fairy, yeah, standard. Going to be really annoying to fight. Always having the fastest thing on the field, it's,
Yeah, aside from one mon in particular on the next team looking to the right, subtle foreshadowing.
I mean, you completely wall that unless they run their favorite explosion set, which they are going to run, so just telling you.
Oh, yeah, true.
And then Komala for 2 is very nice, budgeting. Spectre counter, normal type, another rapid spinner, so you have 2 spinners and a Corviknight for defog, so I think your hazard game is really nice.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking too. Like, Komala is just solid. Initially, I was going for... I can't remember what mon I was going for my 2-pointer, but it got stolen from me.
Dunsparce.
I think it was Pat. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Mike stole that from me.
Yeah.
But after hearing you talk about Komala with being the Spectre answer, I do feel like it's a better Spectre answer than Dunsparce's, just because I get, like, knockoff.
You can get burned.
I get knockoff. Yep, can't get burned. The knockoff, and then like, yeah, it's still like specially weaker, but like I can always just run an AV.
Yeah.
And like AV Komala is like very similar, like in terms of defenses as like Dunsparce is. I feel like
the
special defense at least.
The one season that I drafted Spectre, I had to fight Komala, and I didn't respect it as a counter. And it was AV with knockoff, and it just did so much damage to my Spectre. I just lost because I couldn't break through the Komala. Still can run Wish as well, if you don't want to be assault vested. Can wish some things up. So you have Healing Wish on Enamorous, you have Wish on Komala. You have a good...
Not gonna lie, I didn't know this thing got Wish. That's actually really good to know.
Like, it has a good move pool. It has Wish, it has knockoff, it has U-turn. Can get statused.
Yeah, it gets like...
move pool.
Yeah, it gets like Earthquake, it gets grass coverage, like it gets like random good coverage,
Bulk
just
of
like
Calm
most
Mind's
mons in Gen.
Endeavor, yeah.
Gets Ice Spinner, gets Play Rough, like it
Rapid
just gets
spin,
like
obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, it gets Sucker
Fang.
Punch.
Cool.
Sucker Punch, Superpower, like this thing, it kind of just has like Gen 7 effects where I feel like they have just really good coverage for no good reason.
Yeah, this would be my set. U-turn, knockoff, rapid spin, Wish. Full support. Heavy duty boots. Yeah, look at me. Not a stall player at all. Get rid of this attack investment. Not a stall player at all.
But
I mean, I like your team.
I'm a fan of my team. I feel like it could be better in certain areas, but I do feel like it's going to serve me well.
It's not a team that you look at as the standout team. Like we have some others that you look at and are like blown away. But when you look more in depth at it, it's like, yeah, good. I don't really see a massive weakness immediately.
Yeah, it's just going to be like, can you abuse my lower speed?
Yeah.
Like, but even like, I know I talked to you about this before, like when we were discussing the team and everything. A lot of these mons are kind of fake speed or like fake low speed. Yeah, Blastoise with Shell Smash, and then like Kyurem D-Dance.
Or even Scale Shot, yeah.
Yep, and then Cornerstone gets Trailblaze. Like, granted, I'm not always running Trailblaze, but like these are very common ways of boosting my speed.
Thing with Cornerstone too is though, if you don't have hazards up and you can get the Cornerstone in on full HP, it doesn't die to one hit because it has 30. I don't think there's anything faster than Cornerstone that really wants to take a hit from Cornerstone. Unless I'm forgetting something. But like most things that are faster than 110 do not appreciate Cornerstone's moves.
I 100% agree. And having that 100 base power, 100 accuracy rock move, oh, that's going to feel so good.
Yeah. Can't wait to fight it week 2.
Like, I feel like just by looking at my team, it's not like the kind of team that's super scary when you look at it, but then when you try to prep for it, you realize shit, I have like nothing for most of this.
Yes, I agree. So,
Yeah.
I would put you, I think, at the top of B. Maybe low A, but I feel like top of B because you don't really have a standout thing. But I'm fine putting you in low A as well.
Yeah, I mean, we can always just see where like the rest of the teams line out and can always even things out a little bit.
I would just put you as the boss of B tier.
Yeah, the safeguard into A tier.
Yes.
If it's better than my team, you're A tier. But if you're worse than me, you're B tier.
Exactly. Next, Milk. I mean,
this team.
It's
a thing of beauty, ain't it?
I do not like that they got rid of the Urshifu for the Landers. I don't really know why they did that.
Yeah, it was Urshi Dark, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Like, Chiyu plus Urshi Dark was just ridiculous to switch in on.
I agree, but like I also see their reasoning for it. It is like overlapping on
Chiyu is a
dark
fake
types.
dark type. If you don't click a fire move for Chiyu, you are cheating. You just click overheat all the time.
I think it's mainly for like the weaknesses, but at the same time I do understand because like,
I mean, look at this team.
type-
It is not meant to be defensive. It is not meant to have defensive synergy.
Yeah. This team is just not meant to have synergy, period.
I mean, boom, 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 boom. Healing wish. They can just literally explode their whole team without you getting a single kill and still lose the game.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I just look at this team and it makes my brain happy.
Oh.
The fact that they... like it just makes my brain happy. I am so like surprised they managed to get this kind of team.
I find it very funny too, because when they drafted the Urshifu single strike, that was something I was looking at, and then they drafted Reggie Alecki after, and it was also something I was considering. So I hit them up and like, yo, maybe we have the same idea, and then they were like, I'm pretty sure we do not have the same idea, and then they left their picks, and I was like, yeah, we do not have the same idea. That's cool.
Yeah, never mind. I respect it, but it is definitely like it is objectively a bad team. Don't get me wrong.
That being said, though, Azalv is a pain in the ass to prep for because it can do so much. Like, if they really want to try hard, they bring Azalv, Chiyu, and then they play around with their Regis, because like these three are actually decent Regis. Reggie Alecki, Reggie Drago, Reggie Steel.
Even Reggie Rock isn't the worst thing in the world, but genuinely, I feel like they would have gotten more value if they tiered Reggie Rock
over Reggie.
Over like, I don't know which other Reggie or like which other like something, but like I don't know. I feel like Reggie Rock is like I don't know because Terra Regice does not sound like too bad either.
Terra Regice is good. It's annoying to fight.
Yeah.
And Terra Regigigas was always happening. If you ever bored, you need to watch their low tier season 2 battles where they had Regigigas. It was hilarious. Especially the one versus offline. He is going to hate me mentioning that, but it's peak gameplay. I don't think I've ever seen someone get hexed worse than offline did in that game. And I lost so many games to awful hacks lately, so that's saying something.
That is pretty funny.
I should link it in the description. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Click that card up above to take you there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I can see this team being decent if they really want to try hard, like Chiyu, Azalv, Lando, Reggie Steel, one of these, and then Terra Mesprit. I can see it being annoying, but I know Milk. They are not going to try hard, so... Yeah. That's also really difficult to fight, though. Because, like, they have some delusional things, and they know it, too. So...
And sometimes the Delulu just works out.
Yeah. One thing that's for sure, this is a legendary team. So, I'm just going to go legendary tier. And put Milk in there.
Yep, I agree.
Legendary. Oh, that's annoying. That's
funny.
So annoying.
That's funny.
It pisses me off so bad. You are in Y tier. You are in Y tier, Milk.
The Y tier.
Why? Why did you draft this?
Just why did you do this? How could you have done this?
Alright. Oh, my team next. Go.
Alright. Your team is just fucking annoying, if I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, Dragapult, Terapagos, like, those are just mons that are, like, super hard to prep for. Like, Dragapult, like, with it being so fast, you have no reason to just not run, like, an attack or, like, defense boosting, like, nature. Like, you almost never have to run a speed boosting nature. And, like, you can run, like, offensive, like, choice sets, you can run, like, support sets. Like, Pult is just super fucking annoying to, like, prep for, and then add that on top of, like, Terapagos, who, like, you generally, like, know what it's gonna try to do. It's gonna try to set up in your face, but trying to figure out, like, what kind of coverage this thing is running, and then, like, is it, like, the heavy duty boots variant? Is it the leftovers variant? Or is it, like, the incredible, like, fucking power herb meteor beam variant? Like, those two together are just so insanely annoying to prep for. And then when you add on, like, Clefable being, like, one of the, like, most annoying bulky Pokemon to break outside of, like, you know, Claude and, like, Quagsire, like, those kinds of mons, it's awful. And then, like, Ogre Wellspring is just always good. Like, it's an objectively really good Pokemon.
The Ogre from the Wellspring is really funny to me. Like, I wanted it, but Elliot drafted it. And then I was like, I'm going to draft Firefall, but I'm still going to try and hit Elliot up with a trade. And I kind of guilt-tripped him, to be honest with you. Like, he didn't want to trade, but I was like, I really want this Ogre Pod. I wanted it last time because you sniped me as well. I always help you with your prep. I'm a really good friend. Be a good friend as well. And then, like, the final dagger for him was like, yeah, the girl that I'm seeing also really likes Ogre Pod Wellspring, Elliot. Do it for love, Elliot. And then he was like, sure. And I'm like, yeah, let's go.
That is really funny. That is really funny.
But it also fucked us up really badly. Because then, like, the Hisuian Braviary and the Skarmory that they also have, those were also trades with Elliot. So we had to think really hard, because he was like, yeah, we're trading, but I want you to use your round 5 pick for me, and then he would use his round 5 pick for me. So we would trade that way. But we kind of forgot that we had to figure out the points value too.
Yeah.
So we had to do some massive big brain stuff to actually figure this whole trading out. It's hilarious that it worked out. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm also just, like, looking at it because, like, when you look at the top 4, you don't think this is a rain team. But then you get down to, like, Terra, Hisuian Braviary, and Terra Floatzel, and, like, Politoed, and it's just, like, now this is just in a really annoying rain setup, because, like, Terra Floatzel is unironically, like, insanely hard to switch in on. Like,
yeah,
rain boosted double stab wave crash from this thing is just, like, that's just oppressive. And, like, especially when you consider that you have the best fucking switch in to water type moves.
Exactly.
In the game.
That's why I wanted it. And it also gets Ivy Cudgel to get the rain boost. Like, it seems fun to me.
Yeah. And then, like, Hisuian Bravery with, like, double stab hurricanes in the rain, never being able to miss. Like, that. Yeah. Like, they're just. And then your bulky options between, like, Skarmory and Hisuian Quillfish. Like,
the Quillfish can also be a rain sweeper, like it has Swift Swim too. It's not bad in rain offensively.
Yeah, it's not the worst, and it gets, like, and you can run, like, Liquidation. It gets rain boosted. You're still bulky, so, like, you can run, like, in a Violite rain sweeper with, like, SD.
Like it is quite strong. I'm quite surprised with the Galaxy's Quillfish puts out.
Yeah, it's surprisingly strong. I've seen, like, Kenny use this thing offensively fairly well. And then, like, you know, Politoed is your rain setter. Like, I feel like at 9 points, it's a little expensive, but it makes sense.
I would have liked Pelipper, but I didn't have the points for it.
Yeah. And then Electivire, awful Pokemon. That mon is never seeing the field.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that. I think Electivire is actually it's a bad Pokemon, that I agree with. But I feel like it has matchups where it's useful. And like
I don't know.
I don't have a ground type, so I didn't have an electric community. And I was looking at like 5 points for a ground type, but I don't really think there was anything that I fancied. Like, I could have drafted Sandslash, but I dislike Sandslash. And I think Mudstill is at 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also got drafted. But like, I also needed some speed, because now I went from Ogerpon Wellspring to Terrapagos or to Quillfish if I didn't have Electivire. So I think
Yeah.
it kind of works, and because it's decently strong on both sides, like it's really strong on the physical side, but on the special side it's also quite okayish. So I could even run some Thunder in the Rain.
Yeah, you could. And I also do find it fairly funny how you call my team slow, but then like your speed tiers are worse than mine. You just have a Dragapult thrown on top.
I don't really agree with that, to be honest. Like, I have a Dragapult, but then I have Floatzel that's 115, Wellspring is 110, and then yeah, sure, I go to Electivire that's 95, and then Terrapagos and Quillfish are 85. But my speed tiers are decent enough, because like Quillfish doubles, Floatzel doubles, they're immediate speed tiers. Like your Blaziken needs 1 turn. If I have Politoed and then I switch out to Floatzel and Quillfish, they just double immediately.
Yeah, I agree with you. Like I see where you're coming from for sure. I also just am thinking too, like on the weeks that you are bringing rain, if the rain is not up, you're not going to have as much speed investment. So it's
Yeah, that
kind
is
of like
true.
it's a little deceptive. Like you have no reason to not run Adamant. So like your Floatzel speed isn't going to be that high if someone is able to prep properly for your rain. But
Yeah,
at the
true.
same time, I know you're a good player. You're not going to bring Rain into a team that like will be able to prep for Rain really well. Like oh, let me just bring my Rain team against the fucking prankster Thunderous team or something like that with Sunny Day, or
Yeah.
the Galarian Slow King or the Slow King team,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then your Dragapult gets Weatherballed.
Oh, I'm not forgetting Weather Ball again. That's still
Yeah, you
kind of
better
traumatic.
not.
That's still kind of traumatic for me.
Yeah, every time you go up against a team that has the potential for Weatherball, I'll be sure to shoot you a DM and remind you that Weatherball exists.
Nah, actually, it's gotten to the point before I start prepping that I type in Weather Ball and look if they have a Pokemon that learns Weather Ball before I even start putting on my own mons. It's very
That
bad.
is really funny. That is very funny.
Yeah, I do really like my team because like I have a degenerate defensive core of like Terrapagos, Clefable, Skarmory, but
Yeah.
all of them can be quite offensive too. Even Skarmory. I have run offensive Skarmory and I quite like it.
Yeah, and I mean like Iron Defense Body Press, like you can never count that out.
Swords
Like,
and Sweet
that'll
Armor. Don't sleep on it.
like you can make it work.
Like my favorite thing about this is like when you draft Dragapult, you have probably the best Pokemon in the draft, but it isn't strong. So you need really good breakers. And I was looking at getting Urshifu Single Strike, like I mentioned, as a really good breaker. But then I didn't have many points left to get some high tier bulk, which I always value. So I'm really happy that my breakers are actually like a Hisuian Braviary and a Floatzel with Terra, who are both really oppressive in rain. So I'm actually quite happy that my real offense are my Terra captains, because you need to respect both of them. But even if I don't bring them, like I could bring a team of Dragapult, Terrapagos, Clefable, Wellspring, Skarmory, Quillfish. And it's a good team.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing that I'm not the biggest fan of with your two Terra captains is that like when you're running rain mode, both really want a Terra. Like
Yeah.
I feel like Floatzel has to Terra more than Hisuian Bravery does.
Yeah,
But,
Braviary
like-
doesn't need to Terra in Rain. Without Rain,
Yeah.
Braviary needs to Terra.
Yeah, for sure. And like on week, I just feel like they're really competing hard because they're both like offensive mons. So you can't like be like, okay, this is my like defensive Terra option and this is my offensive Terra option or something like that. Like
You are
because they're
saying
both
that now, but I am a stall player apparently. I will find sets.
True.
I will find sets.
True. Yeah.
Especially Hisuian
I mean-
Braviary. Like Caleb drafted it in GWA. I will find Braviary sets that I can make stall.
Yeah. I was just about to say he brought physically bulky Hisuian Bravery. Yeah.
See,
with defog.
that makes so
remember
much
that.
sense, because when I have the Unnovan Braviary, I really like specially defensive bulk up. So it makes so much sense that he brought the physical defensive Braviary Hisui.
Yeah, it was really funny. I was like terrified of that mon with like choice or setup because Elliot like absolutely cooked my ass and Mox with that thing. So I like hyper prepped for it. And then I didn't even like expect it to be like a bulky defog variant. Like that's the whole
Yeah.
reason why I tried to hazard stack in that game.
That's maybe the one thing about my team that I don't love that much. Like, my hazard removal is good. Like, Terapagos is, in my opinion, the best spinner in the game. I used Tusk
Yeah, it's
last
up there.
season, and Terapagos is better than Tusk. I like Terapagos
Yeah,
more. I like Hisui and Braviary
It
is
depends
really
on the
good.
team, but I feel like it's between.
Yeah, and Hisui and
Go
Braviary
ahead.
is a really good defogger too. But if I have to run defog on Braviary, I lose some setup potential. And if I have to run Rapid Spin on Terapagos, it kind of shows that I am going to be defensive. Unless I am like a Rapid Spin Calm mindset, but then you don't run Rapid Spin for removal. You run Rapid Spin to get your speed boost up. So at that point,
Yeah,
you could
that
also
just-
run Rock Polish, though.
Yeah, but it also does like just double as like a removal option while
Yeah.
you're boosting.
Yeah,
So like it just like adds a little bit of roll compression there.
exactly. Like, my removal is really good on paper, but it does force me into some sets that I maybe don't want to bring each week.
I agree. That's kind of like what I'm seeing too. Like it's just an annoying team because like you have two completely different like modes that you could run, both being equally viable.
Yeah.
Like I could probably see your team being like just above mine in A tier possibly.
I'm fine with that. I like mine more than yours, to be honest.
Yeah, I was gonna say like generally speaking, I feel like your team is better. Just like if we ignore like Dragapult, I feel like my team is like on par, if not slightly better. But since Dragapult is like the best Pokemon in draft, I have to boost you up a little bit higher.
I do agree with that. Because without Dragapult, I lose a lot. So,
Yeah, I feel like otherwise our teams are fairly even. I just feel like Dragapult gives you the edge.
yeah. Yeah, I agree
And
with that.
I think that's a somewhat fair assessment.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, your team, like, if you take away your Kyurem, or if you take away my Dragapult is a much bigger loss than your Kyurem is.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, time for Niv. Is that how you say his name?
That's how I say his name. I don't know if it's correct, but that's how I say his name as well.
So that's just how we're going to say it now.
Exactly.
Man, this team is absolutely craving Tapu Koko to come back.
Oh, no. We do not need Tapu Koko back. We really do not.
I mean, like, the
But-
Iron Valiant, Iron Treads, I swear I've seen that top two in so many Nat Dex leagues
Yeah.
I've been in.
I mean, this team looks stacked, to be honest with you. It looks also really annoying to fight.
Yeah, the regen core between Amoonguss and Cyclizar.
And then a Wish passing Vaporeon. Fuck me, man.
Yeah. And then, like, a Terra Kilowattrel. And then, like,
It
it's
does.
just not.
It does look like a team that is going to rely on Iron and Valiant to break, and that might be a bit difficult.
Yeah, because Iron Valiant doesn't love running it doesn't love running its choice sets. Like it can, but it would much rather be like a setup variant.
Yeah,
And I feel like
my only
this
Valiant
team
set
lacks
that
offense.
the only Valiant set that I liked is like Booster Energy Speed with Swords Ends. That set I liked, but if you have to bring that set each week, I don't know. Sure,
Might get a little
a Specs
predictable.
Valiant set, like Specs Valiant looks good on this team, especially with like Hammerrot and then the Regen Core, a U-turning Roost, Moltres, Wish Passing Vaporeon. You can just get Valiant in really easily and just spam Moonblasts with Specs. But
Yeah.
it's very reliant on Valiant. And when I had Valiant, I didn't love it, so I don't love relying on Valiant.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you there. And like I do think Moltres can afford to run offensive sets on this team, mainly just because I feel like they have so much bulk already. Moltres can just afford to be a little more offensive.
Yeah.
And then like Hammerot, of course, is like I could see them bringing like a banded Hammerot.
True.
Like that thing can break somewhat. Like it's better as a lead, but it can be a breaker, like a mid game breaker with Ceaseless Edge to get spikes up in the mid game.
Yeah.
While still dealing a bunch of damage.
I like Tinkerton as a T-Wave spammer. It works. It works. This team is also really fast. Like if you look at it, it's only Vaporeon and Amoonguss that are slow.
Yeah, everything else is like.
Like then it's Hammerot,
pretty...
I think. I think Hammerot is his third slowest mom. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, and even then Hammerot's like not exactly a slow Pokemon. Like that thing is running like.
Like if you put Hammerot on your team,
like
if you put Hammerot on your team, it's like the 4th or 5th fastest Pokemon. Here's the 3rd slowest. It's funny.
Yeah. But like that's sort of one of the benefits of having an overall slow team. That just means I can afford to run non-speed boosting natures.
Exactly. I don't really value speed tiers that much. Like if your team is slow, it's going to be bulky, so it's fine. But this team has both. Yeah. It's fast and it's bulky, so I do like it.
Yeah, that's sort of where I'm at too. Like I'll need to be convinced a little bit by like seeing how it performs, but like on paper it looks like a fairly good team. It looks like a NatDex team.
Yeah, I can kind of see that, to be honest.
Like throw on like a Tapu Koko or like hell even like a Pincurchin or something like for the E-Terrain, and like this gives me vibes from like NatDex leagues.
For like, some reason Amoonguss also just reminds me of NatDex, and it's for no reason, but like I look at Amoonguss and I'm like, yeah, you get drafted in NatDex. I don't know why.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know, I have not seen Amoonguss drafted much this gen.
I think it's a bad Pokemon. I think it's a bad Pokemon, to be honest. But I can see
very mid-mod.
I can see the appeal on this team, to be honest, though. Like you regen, you get some status off its border with Toxic, and then you just swap into one of your bulky pivots or into your Valiant if you put something to sleep. So I can see it. Like Threats has Volt Switch, Hammerot has Flip Turn, U-Turn, Moltres, U-Turn, Flip Turn, U-Turn, Parting Shot, I think. So
yeah, it gets Parting Shot.
It has a lot. The more I look at it, the more I like it. Like, I didn't look at this team and I was like, yeah, this is one of the best teams in the league. But the more I look at it, it might just be.
Yeah. Like, on paper, like, I do know that this team is really good. I just need to be, like, convinced that they can afford to run more offense. Because, like you mentioned at the start, they need to be able to, like, run things offensively in order to, like, win some games. Because like this isn't a stall team.
No,
this, like you can't afford to just run like a bunch of like bulk and like try to stall things out, because like that's not how this team operates, or that's not how it looks like it'll operate. So it's just like figuring out if the offense that you have is enough to get you there.
But like this is one of those teams that I would show to people. Like, what's a good draft team? I would probably show this. It has basically everything that you want.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I feel like a Lola Persian is never going to be coming, but it might come, like, once. And even then, like, I don't think it'll come with Terra, just because I think Kilowattrel wants the Terra a lot more.
But it can also be brought with Terra if you don't have a Kilowattrel matchup.
Bro,
like,
yeah, that's
it's just
100% fair.
It's just having the option. Like, if you bring both, it's not going to be a Terra Persian. But why wouldn't you just Terra Dark your Alolan Persian if you don't bring Kilowattrel? Just get stronger.
You have no reason not to.
Yeah.
It's just Alola Persian is kind of just a bad Pokemon. Like, its stats are awful.
I do agree. But then again, like, I can see why he would have wanted it.
Yeah, it's good for utility purposes, like Parting Shot, U-Turn, Fake Out,
Knockoff.
Like Fast Taunt, Knockoff. Yeah. Like, it has a bunch of things. Like, it has a lot of really good utility. And I feel like with how bulky the team is, you don't need more bulk exactly. It just would have been nice to have more offense, you know?
Yeah, like maybe get a 5-pointer, because he still has 1 point remaining. This triggers me so badly, by the way. 1 point remaining here, 2 Terra points remaining here. He could just draft a Terra Trico with Terra and he doesn't do it. It's a hater move.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's no reason to not just draft like a 1-pointer with Terra. Like even if it's like a mon that's never coming, it's just like an additional thing to like at least somewhat keep in mind, because you never know like what's going to be good in any given matchup.
When I draft a 1-pointer, it's just a team mascot. Like if Sfeel was in the game, we'd always draft Sfeel.
Fair enough, yeah. That's very fair.
But like this team, I really like it. It looks less oppressive than mine. Like I think prepping for mine is scarier than prepping for this. But this team is probably better than mine. Just looking at the months.
I would probably agree with you. I don't know if it's a whole tier better. I don't know if it's exactly S tier in my opinion.
I wouldn't either.
But I would definitely say top of A tier.
Yeah, higher than mine. Like I can accept that.
We can always like boost certain teams up too. Like if there's no other teams we feel like are better, we can always boost them up to S tier at that point.
There is one team that's S tier that I already know. So
I think I know who you're talking about, but I'm not 100% sure just yet.
Wow, really? Okay, we'll get there soon.
Maybe, but like I said, I have not been paying that close attention.
Okay. Next team, my week 1, ChefRamsay.
This team looks annoying.
It really does. It really does. Bundle plus Spectre, 2 frauds together.
True.
But then
Can't
again,
wait to miss every Hydro Pump.
I can't wait to run 6 Assault Vestic in this team and get swept by Dragonite.
True, DD Dragonite.
Yeah. But like this team is ridiculous. And then it has so much bulk too. Like Slowking is... I didn't like it when I had it, but it's really annoying to Oko. So...
I really wish I had Slowking.
Yeah, it would have been really good with your Kyurem, to be honest.
Yeah, it's so sad that it got sniped, but I mean, hey, I'm happy with how things turned out, and I feel like Slowking can still do some things. Like they have a snow mode with Terra Beartic right down there.
They also have Iron Bundle with Blizzard. Is all I'm going to say.
Iron Bundle.
And it gets a big defense boost as well. I think it's bulkier than Kyurem as well with the defense. Like this thing has a lot of defense, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it has a lot of defense, but I know its HP stat is really low, so I don't know exactly how
56, but then 114 defense. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how that calc turns out, because I know Kyurem has a higher HP stat but a lower defense stat. So Aurora Veil.
Look at this. I hope he brings this. I really hope he does.
Can't wait to see the utility bundle with Taunt, Encore, Freeze Dry, Aurora Veil.
That'd be so dope. Like, why not? I would bring this once. I'm just hoping I don't see it week 1. But I would bring this once.
Yeah, especially when you like account for like Dragonite too.
Weakness policy, like, Dragonite, Spectriate. Yeah. Because it is a Nasty Plot banned here, right? Or is it?
I think it is. Wait, we might have unbanned it, actually.
Oh, Spectre cannot use Nasty Plot. Well,
okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But still, like, Calm Mind.
I'm gonna be real, the Nasty Plot variants don't even really scare me as much. I'm much more afraid of the Calm Mind sets, personally.
I agree.
Mainly just because I feel like if you're running Nasty Plot, you're running 3 attacks and not Substitute, and I feel like Substitute sets are way more scary than the 3 attack variants.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm not a huge fan of Terra Fez.
Neither am I, because Fezandipity is really good just as its natural typing.
Yeah, but like they're like personally, I feel like they could have gotten much more value by tearing Porygon 2 instead of Fez.
Normal Fairy Water. Just slap it on there. Yeah, I would have gone that too.
Yeah, and it's just like... And then that also like helps round things out a little bit better, because I feel like most of the time, like, you're not going to be running Porygon 2. Like, I don't really see that many like matchups where you want to bring Porygon 2.
It's one of those slap-on checks. It's like a Deoxys defense.
Yeah.
If you want to check something, you just throw it out and it's not going to die. But it's also not going to reliably check everything it wants to be checking. You're probably better off with a Pokemon like Corviknight. It's a very designated check for something. Then a Porygon 2 that's just, let's throw it out and not die in one.
Yeah, pretty much. And like, the fact that it's a bulky normal, which I mean it's solid. But he also has Spectrier, the one thing that like really makes sure that you have a bulky normal type. So like what's even the point at that point, you know?
I think it's mainly like he has Porygon 2 and Spectrier, so nobody else has Porygon 2 against his Spectrier.
True. Yeah, I didn't quite think about that, but I'm also not a huge fan of Mienshao. It's so damn expensive.
I hate Mienshao after VDL. I really do. But like on paper it just has everything. It's fast, it's strong, it has a really big move pool with CC, with triple axle, knockoff U-turn, regenerator. Like this thing has all the tools. It's just a fraud of a Pokemon.
Yeah, I agree.
But you have to respect it in prep, because it's not easy to switch in on the Mienshao.
Yeah, I agree. When I look at this team, I would probably say like everything like bundle to Fez is perfect. Everything below that, I feel like could be reworked. Like this team doesn't need to fill every single slot. I feel like you could have done a little bit of roll compression to make some bonds better, you know?
I don't know if I agree with you, because I'm not the biggest on roll compression as a whole. Like, I can see value in every one of his Pokemon, except for maybe the Torracat, but then again, he only had 1 point remaining, and I would draft his Feel I mentioned before, so the Torracat has actually... I can see it. Like, I do like this team. It's going to be annoying to fight, because like his bulk with Slowking, Fortress, P2, Mudsdale is going to be tough to break, even Serendipity as well, I forgot about that. Then also, Dragonite, Mienshao, Spectrier bundle. It's going to be really annoying to fight against.
Yeah. This team is kind of like the inverse of what was their team? Who's the second team? RK9. This is kind of like the inverse of his team, whereas like ChefRamsay's team is probably better, but I don't like it.
You really don't like I do like this a lot.
To be fair, I see bundle and I have trauma.
Oh.
So
see, I see bundle and I'm thinking 80% shouldn't be that bad. If Bleakwind Storm hits most of the time, Hydro Pump should hit most of the time too. But
dude,
then again,
I have no idea how many Hydro Pumps I have missed.
I haven't drafted Iron Bundle for that exact reason yet, so.
Like, something about Hydro Pump, man. Like, Palafin against Patrick, like, that was the bundle curse coming back at me. Like, I just can't run Hydro Pump ever.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. I do like this team, though. I'm not going to lie.
I like parts of it. I don't really love it as a whole, but that's just me personally. It's objectively better. It's just like I just can't get past like certain bits. Like
I kind of like it more than yours, but that's because your team is a lot more offensive, while his is a lot more defensive, and I value the defense.
That's fair.
When you look at your team, your recovery is like Corviknight, and then you don't have recovery on your other bulky Pokemon, while he has Slowking, Serendipity, P2. I like this team, I think more than yours, but you don't like it that much, so I think we just compromise on a B tier team behind you then.
I'd be fine with that. I could see it being bumped up, like if we need to like move certain things up, but
I wouldn't put it in A.
That's just me personally.
I wouldn't put it in A.
Yeah, I probably
me
wouldn't
personally,
put it in A
I would probably do this. But I'm fine with this too, because like it's just preference of playstyle. I like the bulky balance more than the offensive balance that you have.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like the offense. I kind of like more offensive balance, where you like defensive balance. Yeah. So it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Speaking of bulky balance,
I haven't looked at this team enough because it changed quite a bit with the free agency.
Yeah, this is. This is kind of just.
It looks so weird with Okidogi, but he traded Okidogi with Fargo. But what did he? I don't remember what he had. Oh, he probably had the Lando, and then it made some weird. Yeah, something weird happened. Yeah, but he didn't draft Okidogi round 1. That's for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. It was just because of some trades. And I thought it was funny to leave Okie Dokie there. So he's up there now.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, looking at the team, you are not going to believe me saying this, but I don't like it that much, even though it has Glide score.
Yeah.
It's
like kind of surprising.
It looks lacking on the offensive side.
Yeah, that's sort of what I look. That's sort of where I see it. Like Zarud is like fine without Terra. It's not really that great. Like it's still semi-strong, but like having that quad weakness to U-turn is not great.
This is going to be very unpopular as well. But even with Terra, I don't think Zarud is that great. I think the YouTube scene is very much overrating Terra Zarud.
That's fair. I feel like a lot of it is like just how you use it.
We had a crazy low tier season once where we had 25 Terra points and everything was allowed to Terra just for those 25 points. So you could, for example, if we did 25 Terra points here, you could Terra Dragapult for 19 and then Floatzel for 6. That would have been fine.
That's insane.
So we allowed Zarud for 18, didn't even get Terra'd in a low tier format.
That's kind of wild.
So, I don't know. I see the value of Zarud as a Terra captain. Here it's not useful to mention that because it can Terra, but like, I don't think Zarud is the best mon. It's annoying and it's fast and it's strong, but it's abusable. Like, its best sets are the bulk up sets that have recovery, but Zarud after one bulk up is not that insane, so just taunt it after one bulk up and you're fine.
Yeah, like, I think it's strong, but I don't think it's, like, the most broken shit imaginable. Like, I think it's in leagues where they allow, like, mid-tier Terras, I think it's fine. Like, I don't think it's, like, the top of the top, like, Terra caps. Like, it's no, like, Terra Regieleki, but...
But
I
even
still
then,
think it's strong.
Like in the high tier leagues where they allow like Terra Tornadus Tyrion, they mention that Zarud is on par with Tornadus Tyrion. I'm like, what are you smoking? How is Zarud on par with Tornadus Tyrion?
I don't think it's that good. I think Tornadus Therian is better. Like objectively, it's better.
Even on this team, I would much rather have a Terra Goldengo and a Terra Gliscor than a Terra Zarud.
Gliscor for sure, but I don't think Goldengo. Mainly just because I feel like you like your typings too much with Goldengo to Terra out of it.
Defensively, sure. I mean, offensively, Terra Goldengo looks kind of fun.
True, yeah. Offensively, like double stab, make it rains, just go burr.
Yeah. Terra Blast fighting, so we don't have to run focus miss. But we're getting off track.
Very true.
We're getting off track.
We are. Yeah, that's sort of like the one thing I'm like not 100% sure about this team. About this team is that like. It's you're lacking a lot on offense.
It's going to be a really slow game when you fight him, because that like Goldengo can be really bulky, Zarud, Talonflame, and then you have a Terra Gudra, you have a Farigiraf which has Wish and Trick Room. So even though it is quite slow, you could run a Trick Room mode with Vikavolt. Mm-hmm. That being said, I would always Terra Vikavolt over Gudra.
I also agree. Vikavolt is very, very strong as a Terra captain.
Electric Steel and then like an offensive typing of choice. I would have always gone that.
That's what I would have probably gone for too, and that would have helped out significantly with the offense.
Exactly.
Especially since, like you said, they can run a Trick Room mode with this team, and I feel like Vikavolt with Trick Room is just like really oppressive.
You know what's also crazy? Like, I'm seeing this now. He has 5 points remaining. He could drop the Zarud for Roaring Moon, drop the Gudra for another 9-pointer, and give Vikavolt Terra captaincy, and this team would be so much better.
Yeah, I agree with you. There. I'm not sure what other 9-pointers like we have available that would be better for Terra.
I think
without Terra.
I think Shaman is available. Oh, Sinistcha is available. Oh, Shaman is available.
I'm not huge on those mons, but like they're still like solid.
Like, I'm just thinking if you drop Zarud for the Roaring Moon, you lose your ground resist as your grass type, so you just get a 9-pointer grass type. I would probably get Roaring Moon over Zarud, and then here put Sinistcha and Terra this Vikavolt, and then Terra Farigiraf over Avalok maybe. Although I do really like Hisuian Avalok as a Terra captain. I also just like Farigiraf as a Terra cap.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Hisui and Avalugg should also be Terra Fairy. I feel like not Terra
Yo, he
Fairying
doesn't
this
have Terra
mon.
Fairy. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, I feel like Terra Fairying this mon is like it's one of the best things that you can run on it. Like
To be honest, I do
I
see
see.
why. Because, like, you do like Terra Ghost as a spin blocker, and
But
Terra
like, why
Water
would
and Terra Fairy, I think they are kind of a toss up.
uh I agree with you, but also why would you ever make Hisui and Avalugg be your spin blocker when you have Golden Go?
That's a very good argument. You are correct. He should have Terra Fairy over Terra Ghost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just I just feel like having like I get with like Primarina, like you already have like a bulky water and a bulky fairy, so really like having both those Terra types on Hisui and Avalugg isn't like necessary. But I feel like when you also account for having the Golden Go, you don't need the Terra Ghost, and in most matchups you would rather have two fairies than two ghosts.
Yeah. It's also not that great that his hazard removal is the Avalok and the Talonflame. Because, like, if you bring Avalok without Terra, it's kind of useless. So you are
Yeah.
forced to bring Terra Avalok all the time. Or you have to run Talonflame with Defog. But, like, I don't love having Defog on a Gliscor team.
Yeah, I agree.
Because, like,
you
I like Defog a lot more than Rapid Spin. Because most of the time the Defog ones are just better ones than Rapid Spin ones. But when you have a Gliscor, you really don't want to be running Defog.
I agree. Another thing that I just thought we should mention too, there is a lot of bulk on this team, but there is a lot of potential for just like bulky offense too.
Oh, yeah, true.
Like Gliscor can be ran offensive, as you know. Golden Go, of course, is offensive. Okidogi is like fairly strong still, can threaten like poisons as well.
Okidogi is really strong.
Yeah. And then like
I like Gudra
of
has a
course
really good move pool.
yeah, Gudra
Although-
has a good move pool.
His Terra caps
like,
don't lean into it though. Like his Terra types are all defensive. Other than Dragon,
Yeah.
obviously, but he had to go Terra Dragon. Like I would have maybe
Mm-hmm.
gone for like an offensive Terra type, like maybe Electric to get stab on Thunderbolt or like
Fairy.
I don't know. Yeah, but yeah. I don't know, Fairy, Steel, Poison. I can see Poison because you get stabbed on your Poison moves, you get stabbed Toxic, so you can't miss that. It's good defensively
Mm-hmm.
as well. And Terra Steel is really good with Dragon type because you're weak to Dragon, Ice, and Fairy, and Steel just resist that. So I see the
Yeah.
reason why. They're all just defensive typings. So if you want to be running a offensive Gudra, your Terra types don't really help you.
I agree with you there. And like we were already talking about, Vikavolt is a very strong offensive mon. This team, I feel like it has a lot of potential. I just feel like you're lacking a lot in offense, and like your speed isn't good, and well yeah, you can run a trick room mode. You only have like one trick room setter, and trick room just isn't that good in draft.
I agree
or
with
singles
that.
draft at least.
I agree. But then again, like, this is an ArchDon team. Like, I fought him in VDL where he had a Gardevoir with Terra. No, not with Terra. He just had a Gardevoir in low tier, which was really scary. And he didn't bring it once versus me, and we fought twice, which I thought was insane. Like, when I fought him, he brought some bulky teams twice. And I was like, yeah, I like what he is bringing against me for myself. And it still worked out for him. So I can see why he would like this team.
Yeah, like I'm looking forward to see what he does with it. It's just like if we go based off of like on paper rather than like how they play as a coach, I feel like this team has a few things lacking. I don't know if it's quite a C tier team, but I do think it's lower than the two B tier teams we have.
I think I would put it in C tier because it's a lot closer to Arcaniner's team, in my opinion, than to these two. And
I could see that.
I am not even sure if I like Arcaniner's team less than this, but that might be my Samurott bias speaking. Because yes, this has
Might be.
this has a Gliscor, which I love, but this has a Samurott. So
Should cancel out.
it doesn't. Samurott is higher.
All right. Well, I'm fine with that. Wherever you want to put it,
I would put it in C,
Pure the
but
game.
I don't mind it being higher or lower. So
Let me do this real quick. Let me pull this up. All right. Coin flip. Which team is heads? Which team is heads?
he is heads. ArchDon is heads.
ArchDon is heads. Okay, flipping. Tails, so he's lower.
Samurai supremacy. Let's go. Happy with that.
Coin flipping PRs. Professionals.
Always. Josh's team. This is an interesting team to me.
This team kind of reminds me of Zero's team from last season.
Really?
Or not last season.
From
but
GWA.
I think, yeah, his GWA team.
He has Bolt and Quavo, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't know. It just gives me the same vibe for whatever reason.
It really doesn't for me, because I know Zero, and he would not like this team. I find it very interesting that Fargo ranked Josh's team as the best in the league.
Yeah. I mean, from what I've heard about him, he played a lot of VGC, so that's probably some of his bias.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these mons would be like amazing in a VGC draft, and he probably has like seen them do really good in VGC, and then like.
Oh yeah.
Granted, he does ladder a lot too, so like he definitely has seen like a lot of these mons do good. But I feel like in the draft scene, some of these mons are kind of frauds.
I really like Raging Bolt, Quavo, and Rillaboom. I like all three of them, and I kind of see the synergy they have as well.
I agree.
But I don't know if I would have put them together. Because they are all really... they're not really expensive. They're expensive, but they're all slow. And
yeah.
I do not like having your high tiers not being fast.
True, but also same with me
Fake
too.
Speed tiers, yeah. Aqua Stepping Quavo, Grassy Gliding Rilla, Thunderclapping Raging Bolt.
Like I can see the reasoning behind it. Like in weeks that you don't want to be running those like fake speed things, then it's kind of rough. But I see the vision.
I mean, I also really see the vision with this team. Like you just run the first 6 and you have a very annoying team to fight. I wouldn't say it's very immediately threatening. Like once again, if you look at my team, I think my team is a lot more oppressive to fight than this team. But he has quite a few of options. Like this can be bulky, this can be bulky, this can be bulky. Cinderace can be really hard hitting. Like I always am surprised when I see a Cinderace U-turn against me. I will never forget the calc when I fought a Cinderace U-turning my Primarina and it did 30%. And I was like, okay, choice band the Cinderace. It was heavy duty boots.
Yeah, that's kind of insane.
And I wasn't an offensive Primarina either. It was bulky. So this thing does a lot of damage that I don't really expect it to do most of the time.
And then like Terra Meloetta is really strong. Like
yeah.
I'm not as high on it as like some other people are because I've seen some people like.
I think
play
I
with
wanted it banned. Didn't we have the discussion when we did the tiering system that I wanted it banned and you didn't?
Yeah, I think so. But
Yeah.
I mean, like, I think this mon is like on par with like base Hoopa personally.
Oh, I
like
do not.
when you allowed Terra.
I do not. I think Meloetta's a lot better than base Hoopa.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Every person I've seen run Terra Meloetta, it just hasn't been as good.
I've seen it get
Like-
kill leader.
I've seen some people use it with free Terra Meloetta, and even then it still wasn't great. Like it did fine, but it wasn't amazing.
Free Terra Meloetta just sounds like a meme. Why wouldn't you run Terra Fairy?
True. Yeah.
Why would I want Terra Electric on my Meloetta when I can Terra Fairy?
Yeah. Like, and I see the realm too, where it's like you can run an physically offensive with like the
Relic
fucking
song.
like yeah, but like that's a huge gimmick.
Yeah. I would have gone Terra Normal on this Meloetta over Terra Psychic as a stab. Because I think
I
stab
agree.
Hyper Voice is harder to switch in on stab Psychic, weirdly enough. And it kinda helps with the Relic song too. Because that's the main downside of it. Like I think it's quite a weak move. It's base 70, no? Relic song.
Hyper voice?
No, Relic
Relic
song. Relic song.
I think it's 80.
Relic song. 75. We're both wrong.
Okay, cut the difference.
But like, it's 75 base power, it's a special move, and then you transform to the physical one. And the physical one doesn't have high special attack. So if you want to be running this set, you have to run a base 75 special move, which is kind of weak. So
Yeah.
I think to have Terra normal on this, to maybe get a super step, Relic Song, to just get a little bit more damage and then go to the physical side, would have been cool. But then again, same argument, just run Terra Fairy.
Yeah, Terra Fairy, Calm Mind, GG easy.
Yeah. I really like Terra Miloetta. Like, he has Calm Minding Miloetta, Calm Minding Raging Bolt. This thing can bulk up. This thing can bulk up too, I think. This thing can do both, hilariously enough.
Yep.
So, he has a lot of bulky setup, which is quite cool.
Yeah, not a lot of immediacy, but definitely a lot of really good, like, setup potential mons.
Bandit Rillaboom, Bandit Cinderace are very immediate. But when you see that they are bandit, you can play around them.
Yeah. That's sort of what I'm thinking too. Like, they're hard to switch into, but if you prepped well enough, you should be able to.
Yeah, I agree. But like, Mamoswine is a really big breaker that I think this team does need.
I agree. That Mamoswine helps this team a lot.
Bit of a shame it's slow, because like his team is also slow. He has Cinderace and Screamtail and Grafaiai, but we don't know, Grafaiai and MMC did not match well. So,
yeah, for multiple seasons in a row.
Yeah.
Oh, that poor guy.
I also don't know about Cinderace being your fastest. I think it's 119.
Yeah, it's 119.
I mean, it's very fast, obviously. But I don't know. Maybe it's my autism talking that I want 120, that to just see the 2 here instead of the 1. I don't know.
Maybe. I see your vision. Like, all the other, like, slower teams have, like, an option to go faster. Like I have Hisui and Electrode, like, my breaking the chart speed tier.
Yes.
Like, that sort of helps it a lot more. Whereas, like, Cinderace, well, yeah, it's, like, faster than Ogerpon. He has nothing, like...
But you're still forced to run Jolly. I think that's the main thing. Like, when you have, like, I think when you have a Darkrai, you can probably run Modest on an Ogerpon Cornerstone.
Yeah, I think so, too. And, like, he has no fuck you, I'm faster mons.
Exactly. He just has fuck you, I have priority. That he does have.
Yeah, that he does in fact have, because even Quavo has, like, Aqua Jet.
Yeah, and even Cinderace has Sucker Punch too, so... That was fine with Ice Shard.
Yeah, and he has Sableye with Prankster.
Same with Grafaiai. So,
and it does help. Sableye does help this team a lot too, because, like, being able to spread status, like, Thunder Wave is really helpful.
Oh, true.
It helps slow things down.
Screamtail has that too, so... And Kricketune with Webs.
Yeah, that's kind of a fake Pokemon. Like, you're running, like, You're running a 5v6 in exchange for webs, but, like,
yeah, but then again, like, you have people who just run a Stealth Rock Focus Sash lead. Why is Sticky Web Focus Sash bad? Sure, Kricketune is, like, I don't know who it was who ran a Stealth Rock Focus Sash Sandy Shocks last week. May have been a YouTuber, I don't know. I just remember seeing Focus Sash Sandy Shocks with Stealth Rocks. Like, sure, Sandy Shocks is a lot better than Kricketune, but if you just want to lead it as a Focus Sash sack, I don't mind having the Kricketune for webs. Just the main annoying thing is, like, his spin blocker is the same line. So
yeah, I agree. And, like, I feel like this league is a high enough skill level to where, like, you see webs or, like, hazards and you're like, okay, I guess I'll throw on Defog, or I guess I'll throw on Rapid Spin. Like, I feel like this league in particular, like, people are going to be running hazard removal. Like, it's not like an if they run hazard removal, like you see sometimes in, like, YouTube leagues where they're running, like, no removal options and just, like, running boots. Like, we are in that phase where we're just like, no, we are running hazard removal. We are not risking that.
So, something really funny though would be to just hazard stack Josh himself. Because his removal, like Quavo, I don't think you want to run Quavo as your remover. So you kind of rely on Cinderace core changing. So if he has sticky webs up, he can just core change his own sticky webs to his own side. That could be really funny. To just say, fuck you. I'll just spike stack you. And you run sticky webs. You have to choose if you want to play with spikes up or with sticky webs up.
Yeah. It'd be really funny if he had like a defiant or a competitive Pokemon, and like
Trick
purposefully
Core changed them back.
Yep, and purposefully do that to like get your defiant boost.
I mean, Annihilate isn't drafted. And it would help with the sticker up spin blocking and defog blocking, to be honest. So
yeah.
Just once again,
Josh, if you're watching,
drop the Graphii and then change one of your high tiers to Annihilate, even though I do not like Annihilate as a Pokemon. But it could be funny.
Yeah, I don't know where I would rate this. I don't think it's the best team in the league. It's still good, but I don't think it's the best.
I think it's B tier, but it's worse than both of these. Because I still like Meloetta more than yours, so I would just put Josh here behind the Meloettas.
I could see that. I'd be fine with that. I could see it being better than mine, but
I do not. Your offense is a lot more threatening than his, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that's fair. Like, I don't know.
He has better bulk than you have. Even then,
this is your list, after all.
This is my list. We should just change. Wait. This is my list. Go.
So true. So true.
Where am I here? Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just here to add the extra perspective.
Hungry with power. Yeah, as soon as Steve leaves, we are going to end the video with my tier list.
Yep. everything else in no tier, in like fucking like D tier, and then him in S tier, and then Milk in S for Samurott.
Yeah, and Arcanine in S for Samurott too. Here we go.
Yes, that's what I meant. What I meant. Sorry.
Milk can be an S with all the Reggies as well. I like that too.
True. Yes.
Okay, next team.
All right.
Renegade, Mike. This is my S tier team.
Yeah, this was the team I was thinking was going in S tier too. I have no complaints with that. This team is just.
How did we allow this, people?
Palafin, Gouging Fire, Torn T, yeah. And the rest of his team is just good too.
He has 9th pick overall, and he got Palafin, and then he got Gouging Fire on the round 2.
Yeah, I really don't know how he got that.
We have both of these Pokemon in GWA, and we were both in the first 5 picks.
Yeah,
he has 9th.
If I didn't already draft Palafin in GWA, I would have picked it. And
same with Gouging Fire for me.
And I would have picked up Gouging Fire too if he won the coin toss between Kyurem and Gouging Fire.
True. Yeah.
But the fact that no one else wanted it and picked up other things instead, that's kind of crazy.
I also find it really funny that I picked a Gouging Fire for him because I thought the Palafin got sniped. And then, oh no, he wants the Palafin. Let's delete the Gouging Fire. And then he just got it back on the wheel. So I was like, okay. You could have sniped him, but you didn't.
Yeah. And then
Whoa. Yeah.
Oh. And then Torn T is just solid. It's just a decent mon. I'm not the biggest fan of it.
I really wanted it. If I didn't go Terrapagos Clefable, I would have gone Torn T. But I wasn't too sure if I could have gotten Bolt plus Torn plus Urshifu single strike. And in hindsight, I could have if I took Bolt, Shifu, then Torn. But I valued the bulk here. I really liked Tornadus because I knew I was going Rain. So.
Yeah. And Jirachi, annoying fucking Pokemon.
I also wanted Jirachi.
Mike just really did just steal a lot of your Pokemon, didn't he?
Yeah, these two, I was going to pick up both, and he just got them as well. So.
Yeah, and then Donphan, it's just a reliable mid-tier spinner.
I think it's one of the best value for points spinners. Because this thing for 10 points, it shouldn't be higher, it shouldn't be lower. But this thing is also really annoying to fight. Gets knockoff, gets Stalfos, gets EQ. It basically gets everything that Greatest gets if you want to run Greatest defensively.
Yep, it's baby Tusk.
Yeah, it's just not as good as Tusk offensively. But if you want to run a defensive Tusk, you could as well just draft Donphan.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And pairing that up with Galarian Weezing, I feel that's really good value. Galarian Weezing, I would probably say is one of the better defensive poison types that you could pick up.
He didn't even want it. I don't know which other type he wanted. I may have been the Tentacruel, but he didn't even want the Galarian Weezing. I don't know. He wanted something else, but he got sniped. And I don't really see what he wanted.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, but like for its value, like genuinely, I would almost always rather have Galarian Weezing over Fez, if I'm gonna be completely honest.
Oh, that's a crazy statement. But I love Fezandipity.
Yeah, like the only time that I feel like I would want Fez over Galarian Weezing is just because of Roost.
And Taunt and U-Turn.
U-Turn, yeah, but Taunt, I'm not the biggest like Taunt user.
I love Taunt. I love Taunt.
Couldn't tell with that Gliscor.
Or my Fezandipities, they also run Taunt, so.
Yeah. And
then
Galarian
Weezing. Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. I was just gonna move on to the next mon. Ogerpon Teal, like I'm usually not the biggest fan of like drafting like single type mons. I value having like dual typings to fill like the entire like type chart. Like maybe not the entire type chart, but like I like hitting a lot of different types and different type combos. So like that's a little iffy. But otherwise, I think Ogerpon is very good for its value. Like as a grass type, it can hold items, which is pretty big. And it's still an Ogerpon at the end of the day.
I'm getting around on Ogerpon. Like I always thought it was a bad Pokemon because like the other forms are just better. But like this thing, it's fast and it's bulky. Like you don't run it offensively most of the time. You just run it bulky. But then like the Pokemon that are really good against Ogerpon Teal, I'll immediately go to like Corviknight and Skarmory. You U-turn on those into Gouging Fire and your life is kind of ruined as the Corviknight or Skarmory player. And I think that's both of us. Yeah, that's us. That's funny.
Yep, that is us.
Wasn't even planning on that.
Or even Terra Bellybolt, which is like a very, very fucking good Terra captain.
This team is ridiculous because like I was looking at these first three and I was like, okay, no points left. This team is going to get weird. Then Jirachi, Donphan, Galar Weezing, Ogerpon Teal, and then like, okay, so he has 13 points remaining for 3 Pokemon, and he still gets these. Okay, this is a meme of a Pokemon, but these two, like, he has 9 really good Pokemon in my opinion. Go away.
Yeah, I agree.
Go away. Hey, what am I doing? Okay.
Doxing our convos.
Sorry.
But yeah, Bellybolt is just insane. As a Terra captain, it's so good. Scrafty is, I don't think it's better than Bellybolt, but it's still really solid.
What I learned about Bellybolt in GWA is it doesn't even need Terra. I really like bringing this thing as a defensive Pokemon with Heracross and just Terra my Heracross.
Water gun.
But like I ran Terra Electric with Parabolic Charge in the last week. Sure, I was memeing, but it was kind of funny to just go Super Stat Electric. It has quite a decent special attack too. I think it's in the 100s. See, 103 special attack. It's just barely weaker than Gren. That's the same as Gren. It's the same special attack as Gren.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy that it's the same special attack as Gren.
And like Gren, it also doesn't have a move to boost its special attack, so it hits the same. Poor Gren. Give it Nasty Plot.
True. Gren. If Gren got Nasty Plot, the thing would be so fucking good.
Yeah. But like, this Bellybolt is really good. Has the same Terra types as mine has in GWA, so I obviously like it a lot.
Mm-hmm. And then like you say, Mizzy is a meme, but genuinely I could see it being like coming 1 week.
Oh yeah, sure.
Like it's not even that bad of a Pokemon with an Eviolite and like Calm Mind and shit. Like you run Terra Fairy with Calm Mind, and then you just like you get Stab on your Draining Kiss, and you're surprisingly bulky with a Eviolite. Like against a week that someone is particularly weak to Fairy, you could genuinely run that, and it could sweep.
Yeah, like we talked about it, Mike and I, like that the Misdreavus for 1 point is quite cheap, and I was like, yeah, usually it's 2 points, but I drafted it once for 2 points, and I brought it versus Caleb to stall him, and it failed miserably. So then I just hate loaded to 1 point, and I never look at 1 points. Like, if you find value in 1 points, it's fine. I don't mind it.
Do you need to plug in your computer?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
I was gonna say, don't wanna like shut down and like lose all your shit.
My PC is usually quite fine, to be honest. Like, it says it needs to charge, and then it just goes for like 35 minutes. So it's cool. But let me get this and charge it. You talk.
But yeah, like Mike's team, I would 100% put this as probably like the best team in the league. I don't want to face this team.
I don't face it. I'm very happy with it.
Do I face this team? I need to check now because I'm kind of spooked.
I am very happy with my schedule. I fight everyone I wanted to fight, and I don't fight Mike, so I'm happy.
Let me see. No.
Alright.
I face him week 6. Fuck.
Playoff deciding game as well, probably week 6.
For real. Alright.
But like
right.
the misdreavers we were talking about, it's not a meme of a Pokemon as a 1-pointer. Like, it's not a Trico. But if you want to use it as a serious Pokemon, it is a meme. Like,
yeah, I agree. Like, this, in theory, this thing should only come like one time, and it's like on a week that someone is particularly weak to Fairy.
It's probably like the same as your Komala and like my Electivire. So looking at points, it's better, but I feel like Electivire and Komala are better Pokemon than Misdreavus.
Yeah, I agree. Do you mind if we put this on pause real quick? I need to run to the bathroom.
Definitely not, because I need to order food and I do not want people to see my order.
Okay, sounds good. We can put Mike in S tier, top of the league, and just pause and we'll come back.
So we are back. We just ranked Mike as the best team in the league. I don't think we need to go further about that. I think we both agree.
Yep, I 100% agree with you. I heard some people say that Palafin is a bit of a fraud. As someone who has used it, I do not think... I think that Mon just forces so much prep. It might not do as much in certain matches, but it's always going to be threatening on the prep sheet, which I feel like is very, very helpful.
Yeah.
Especially because, okay, you have something that counters Palafin. Now with something that counters Gouging Fire. Now with something that counters offensive Torrent-T. Like, you can't counter all those Mons at the same time with one single team. Like, you're going to have to, like, have bad matchups into one of them.
Yeah. Palafin being a fraud is a new one for me.
Yeah.
I don't agree
That's
with
a new
that.
one for me too. But...
I don't agree with that in the slightest. Like, you can just lead it off, go into eject button Torrent-T, and here you go. Torrent-T has full, Palafin activated, and you just go from there. It's kind of insane.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Yeah.
Now time for Paddy's team, which is 100% a Patrick team.
I really like this team too. And what's really funny, which I didn't realize, is he made some transactions. Like, he had Gengar originally. That's what I remember.
Oh.
Okay. I remember KJ from last season. Also had Gran, also had Iron Hands, also had Gengar, Sylveon, Braviary, and Bronzong. So
that's really funny. Yeah.
I was like, I know I liked KJ's team from last season, but I didn't love it, and I do really like this team. So is this really just a Deoxys speed factor that I really like this team?
Possibly. I like this team, funnily enough, because like I feel like Bramblegast offers a lot to this team, to be honest.
I hate Bramblegast. He talked to me.
I love Bramblegast.
He talked to me about getting him what were his transactions? He picked a Braviary, Iron Moth, and Bramblegast for Gengar, Ursaring, as something else. And he was like, I could get Chestnut over Bramblegast. And I was like, yes, get Chestnut. But then he didn't listen to me, and he listened to Elliot. So, fun.
I think Bramblegast is better than Chestnut, personally.
I do not, but then again, I do like my bulk, and I think Bramblegast is fake bulk.
It kind of is, but at the same time, like, it's just bulky enough. It's not, like, going to be living every hit, but, like, it's just bulky enough to live something and be able to, like, strength sap it back up. Like, special attackers, like, you have to watch out. Like, funnily enough, Bramblegast is a Torn T answer.
Yeah, like we were laughing about it, like Paddy and I, that his team doesn't really love switching in into my team. But then like he said, Bramblegast is going to help against Floatzel. And I was like, yeah, it's also going to help against my Braviary if I run Hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
But why would I run Hurricane if I can just Terra Blast flying? So, but it's funny.
True.
His Bramblegast kind of counters both my Terra Caps, which is funny.
Yeah, it is pretty funny. And then offers him like another Rapid Spinner, because I know that there are some weeks where Bramble doesn't want to run Rapid Spin, and same thing with Tentacruel.
No.
Like both of them, like there are some weeks where they don't want to run like Rapid Spin, so it sort of helps take a little bit off, like, of the pressure off.
I don't think I have ever used Tentacruel without Rapid Spin.
I've seen some people use it without Rapid Spin. It's been rare. It's mainly just like Elliot, to be honest. Last season of the MMC, I think I remember him running like Toxic, Flip Turn,
Knockoff
Rapid Spin, but I think he also threw on like Sludge Bomb or Surf instead of Rapid Spin once, because he was just like, the only thing that really hits him is like rocks, and everything that was rock weak he just threw boots on.
Oh yeah.
So.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. If you don't need hazard removal, you don't need spin.
Yeah.
But then Bramblegast doesn't do anything either if you don't need hazard removal, so.
Yeah. Or like for example, like against Arch's Golden Go. Like, yes, Golden Go is a good spin blocker, but at the same time, like, if you get that prediction wrong, you're now getting hit by a Poltergeist. And Bramblegast outspeeds Golden Go. So like you can spin block once, but now you're taking a Poltergeist.
I am not a Poltergeist fan ever since the first GWA I played. I remember having to fight Slowbro with my Surulach, and I threw off a Poltergeist, and he was the Ghost Resist Bury. So my Poltergeist did nothing, and then I couldn't touch him the second time because he didn't have an item. And ever since then I was like, yeah, Poltergeist just sucks. That's why I want it on Dragapult, because I do not think it is broken at all. But that's another discussion.
I think it forces the Ghost Resist Berry, like, on a lot of things, like on those weak mons, because otherwise then, like, yeah, they have nothing to hit them then. But
like, I've ran
like
Ghost Resist Berry on my Drifblim before against Bramblegast, and then I activate my Unburden and I am faster, so it's one of those Pokemon I don't like, just because I don't like Poltergeist that much as a move. And I also don't think it's bulky enough to be a good strength set Pokemon. But I'm just a hater. And I also don't think he needs it as removal, because Tentacruel, in my opinion, is a really good removal. And Braviary is also a very strong defogger, in my opinion. I'm a Braviary.
True.
Believer.
Yeah, and then like another thing that I kind of like about it too, it's like another Spikes mon. Like, because Gren doesn't love running Spikes. It can, but it doesn't love it. And same sort of deal with Dio. It sort of like helps take off a little bit of that.
I was looking at his team. What is his second spike that you are going to mention? Because Sandaconda doesn't get spikes, but yeah, Dio Speed does. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and neither of them really love running like spikes on their like offensive sets. So like Bramble kind of helps out with that. So it allows them to be their best offensive selves without like needing to force on like hazards, just like unnecessarily.
I mean, he has a really good team. The one thing I was most scared of for him is that Dio and Greninja are both cleaners instead of sweepers, or instead of breakers.
Mm-hmm.
But then Iron Hands can actually do that quite fine, especially with Wish Balls from Sylveon. And the Iron Wolf is a really good breaker, so...
Yeah, I agree, and I like his Terra Captains. I feel like Braviary is a pretty solid Terra Captain, and I'm a big fan of Terraconda.
I like both of them as well.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this team.
Terraconda.
I don't like
Terraconda.
But other than that, I really like this team.
Yeah, I like everything on this team. Sylveon has kind of proved itself to me in GWA, even though I dropped it.
I still think it's the best fairy, to be honest. Although I do have Clefable for the first time, so maybe I review my opinion.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's the best fairy. I feel like it's the quintessential fairy type, but I don't think it's the best one.
I think that's kind of the same for me. Best quintessential. I think that's the same thing for me.
Possibly. Like, it's just like a really good, like, just baseline fairy type. Like, it doesn't,
what you want
it doesn't
the fairy
do
to
anything
do,
else amazing.
Sylveon does,
It's just like, it doesn't do anything else amazing. It's just a good fairy type.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes all what you need.
That's mostly all what I want, yeah. I mean, I like this team. I think this is an A-tier team for me.
Yeah, I agree. This is an A-tier team for me. I don't know.
I don't know where either. Because weirdly enough, I think mine is better than Paddy's. Oh, I have the wrong team. I think mine is better than Paddy's. But I think Paddy's is better than Nif's. So... I don't know about the order in this. But like, I am biased against my team as well, so...
Yeah, I'm really not like too particular. We can always just like slap it somewhere and like...
Let's see what I like
decide
more.
later.
Niv or Paddy. Valiant threats Hammerrod. I think I like Paddy's more.
That's fair. Like, I like aspects of both teams more than each other, so I'm not really like terribly particular.
I like the removal options on Paddy's team more than I like on Niv's, which is kind of weird to say, because Threats and Bike are both more expensive than Tentacle and Bramble and Braviary. But I think I like these.
Yeah.
I think I like these more than his. And then Grant Dio Speed is a lot.
Yeah. You also have bias against Bike, so...
I definitely do not have bias against Bike. I am very objectively right about Bike being the worst Pokemon ever created.
Exactly, that's what I mean. So that's why Paddy's team is better.
Yeah. I'm fine with this.
Alright, that works for me. I'm fine with that.
Okay. Roll on.
The chill lo-fi beats. This team also looks very annoying for different reasons.
Yeah. Zapdos and Garchomp. Protective pads if C.
Yup, pretty much. Yeah, every mon is going to be protective pads and fucking covert cloak.
Yeah. It's kind of suspective as well. Like, you have the Alolan Raichu Pincurchin, but it also has the Sneasel. Like, I didn't realize that the first time I looked at it. I was like, okay, Pincurchin makes sense for Alolan Raichu. But I didn't, and for Hitmonlee as well,
too.
yeah. So I was like, yeah, the Terracaps love Pincurchin. But I kind of forgot about the Sneasler, so...
Yeah, I didn't recognize that at first either. Like, I saw the bottom three, and I'm like, okay, yeah, makes sense. Surge Surfer, Pincurchin, and then, like, Unburden Hitmonlee. And then completely ignoring the fact that Sneasler is also an Unburdened Pokemon.
Yeah. I mean, the main thing I see about this team, though, is you are kind of forced to run a defensive chump, in my opinion.
I agree. You have so much offense everywhere else.
Because, like, if you want Zapdos to be defensive, I still think you need your speed on Zapdos. I don't like Zapdos being max HP, max defense, or max HP, max PDF. I still want the speed on Zapdos.
Yeah, still speed creep a few things at least.
Hatterene doesn't have reliable recovery, so it's not the best defensive Pokemon in my opinion. I don't love it that much. I really like Empoleon, but...
I'm the opposite. I hate Empoleon.
Yeah, I know. But I feel like defensive Garchomp kind of glues this team together. Sure, you can run it offensively as well, especially if you don't bring both of these. You can run an offensive Garchomp. But like...
Yeah. This team, I feel like, has the exact opposite issues that we've been having with every other team. Instead of like having no immediacy, this team is all immediacy and no defense.
Yes.
Like, this team is either going to sweep you or get swept, and there's no in between.
Yeah, exactly. Because even Empoleon, like, I like it, but I am also aware that it has its weaknesses that you don't want it to have.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So,
and like, Decidueye I'm not a huge fan of, but like it's fine.
I like Decidueye. It's in my opinion the best budget ghost type.
Yeah, like your hazard game is a little on the weaker side, like removal wise. Like you have defog on Decidueye and like
spin on Hitmonlee.
Yeah, you get spin on Hitmonlee, but if you're spin on Hitmonlee, then you're not Unburden.
But you also have Hatterene, so you only kind of suffer against the Hammerrod team.
Mm-hmm.
And for Hammerrod, you do have his Zapdos, so...
Yeah. Or if, like, for example, you don't want to run Hatterene into a team, and then they still bring hazards into you, so then, like...
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's always a possibility that it's just not a Hatterene week.
I usually don't like bringing hazards against Hatterene. Depends on what my hazard summon are. Like, on this team it's fine because my hazard Pokemon is Skarmory, and Skarmory just beats Hatterene 1v1. I mean,
Yeah.
it can beat it 1v1. Not guaranteed.
Yeah. Like, I don't think you hazard stack this team, but I do think that, like...
If you get
it's
Stealth
fine.
Rocks up, it's going to be hard for him to remove the Stealth Rocks.
Yeah, exactly. Or, like, say, if it's, like, midway through the game, and, like, they're, like... You have a Hazard Mon out, but it's sort of like a 50-50 on whether you're going to set hazards or attack, and Hat's weakened.
Yes.
They might not want to switch in Hat, risking it going down to an attack, and then allowing them to hazard stack afterwards, or so that allows you to get your one hazard up for free then.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I see the issues with this team, but I also still really like it.
I agree. I'm also a big Sneasler fan, so...
I am a Sneasler hater, but it forces a lot
like
of
everything
prep.
else.
It forces a lot of prep, the Sneasler. Like you mentioned, you can force your opponent to bring Covert Cloak for Dire Claw, but you can also force to bring like a red card set to get rid of the Unburden. But then again, you can't run your protective pads for Garchomp or for Zapdos. You can't run Rocky Helmet for your Meowscarada. Like,
yeah.
he forces a lot with this team. And
It's just...
It's a bit similar to mine with his Terra Caps and then his Pincurchin. His Terra Caps do a lot of damage with the Pincurchin, so you have to respect him in prep. Like other teams, you can kind of ignore the Terra Caps in prep, because like if they come, but it's not the end of the world if they do come offensively.
Yeah.
These Pokemon you cannot ignore. If they do come and you aren't prepared, they can sweep you. So it's really nice to just spend your 17 points on these 3 Pokemon, because they do take attention away from your first Pokemon.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, yeah, you bring Terrain Extender Pincurchin. It's not as easy to get rid of Terrain as it is to get rid of Weather. Oftentimes, like, you can defog, but like outside of defog, like, you're not running manual terrain.
The occasional Ice Spinner,
Yeah, like you said, Ice Spinner too. But like, for example, like Surge Surfer Alola Raichu with Nasty Plot and Terra Ice. Like,
yeah, exactly.
What the fuck is switching in against that? Like, terrain boosted Thunderbolts and then like Bolt Beam. Like, what the hell?
I see some things, but they are Terra Captains. They are Terra Captains. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Like, this is just a very value, like, low tier picks. So
I like this team.
I could see this team being A tier.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think it's better than yours. I think I like your team more than this.
Yeah, I would probably rank it in A tier, but hey, this is your list, so if you want to rank it below,
really?
like, I'm not going to complain.
You want to put it, like, it does lack some bulk, though.
Like, I would probably just put it over my team, like, not, like, too much higher, but, like, if you want to put it, like, just below, I can see the vision, too. Like,
I was gonna compare him to Josh and see which team I liked more, because I am pretty sure I like ChefRamsay more. So, like, the highest it would go for me is, like, here.
I'm fine with that. Like, I could maybe see it, like, just below my team if you were, like, willing to do that, but, like, I could also see it there.
I mean,
like,
if it is my list, I still like this more.
I mean, hey, that honestly, that is just, like, I don't mind, because at the end of the day, we do see Mons very differently. You value bulky, like, you value, like, bulky balance a lot more than I do, and I value, like,
that does make sense
balance.
It makes sense with this team too, because I see the lack of bulk and I'm like, yeah, B tier. And you see the offense and you're like, yeah, A tier.
Yeah, because I recognize that this team does, like, need more defense, but I'm also willing to, like, recognize, like, the upsides. Like, some weeks you just sweep. Like, you can just win because of sweeps.
What I will say though, if he does run the terrain set with Hitmonlee, for example, and you hazard stack him, he is forced to run the Decidueye with Defog, and then you get rid of your own terrain. So
true. I would definitely say, if one thing I would change about this team, funnily enough, Brambleghast would fit on this team better than Decidueye would.
It would, but the Decidueye is just so much better than Bramblegast, in my opinion.
I don't personally agree, but
I
that's
re-
mainly just because I've had a lot of success with Bramblegast.
I really like the
so-
Decidueye, but it fits my playstyle. Like, look at, don't tell me this is not a 3-set. This is just,
Yeah,
yep.
Yep, it is. And it's so funny. Like, our views on just like the grass ghost types like really just shows like who we are as players. I value
Yeah.
Bramblegast and you value Decidueye. Like, look at what differences there are, and that's exactly what we value in Pokemon.
Yeah, Strength Sap, Rapid Spin, Poltergeist, and then what else? Power Whip?
Yeah, could run that. Could run, if you really wanted to, you could run like a Subseed set.
Spikes. Sure.
Yes, Spikes.
Yeah.
Hell, I've even, I was gonna say like a Eject Pack Leaf Storm, but I remembered this thing is a physical attacker, not a special attacker.
It's decently fine, especially. Like, I faced him in a special Bramblegast before.
Yeah, it's fine, but it's not like amazing.
Yeah.
Now it's time for Elliot's team.
We finally updated the dog as well. I got rid of the baby.
Thank you. My cousin put a lot of work into that logo, bro.
Yeah.
I spent $100 on that logo.
Wow, you are crazy. $100.
To be fair, it's also was
it-
also included for her birthday too.
Yeah,
like
it is your
it's kind of a
cousin.
50-50.
Yeah, it's fine.
She said she wouldn't have charged me any more than like 40.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I'm just like, she's my cousin, she's family, so I'll overpay this
Yeah.
one time.
Yeah, birthday gift for her, wedding gift for Elliot. It's cool. I like it.
Exactly. And I think it turned out great.
I also like how he's the Golden State Glow Rose with the Glow King.
True. True. Yeah. That is very funny. But this is also 100% an Elliot team.
Like, how does he get away with this? How does he have a Darkrai round 3 again?
Because Darkrai sucks.
Okay, Darkrai round 1 sucks, but Darkrai round 3 does not suck.
Just Darkrai in general sucks.
I mean,
He brought it like 3 times in GWA.
yeah, maybe, yeah.
And I'm
mean-
like, I'm not willing to spend 18 points on a fucking Pokemon that I'm bringing 3 times.
I would have drafted it if he didn't. Genuinely, I would have drafted it round 4.
I'm just not a fan of Darkrai, like, at all. Like, I kind of want to draft it once just to, like, test out for myself, but I know it's just going to disappoint me.
See, yeah, like, I haven't used it myself either because same mindset, but then after using Greninja and GWA, I'm like, Darkrai is just faster and stronger than Greninja. Plus you can set up, like, sure you don't have Protein, but one Nasty Plot and you just do more damage than a Spice Greninja anyway with Ice Beam. So,
Yeah.
like, I think I should be fine with Darkrai if I have, like, a similar build to my GWA team. But it's not the mon you build your team around.
Yeah, no. It's sort of like a mon that you sort of, like, fit onto your team.
Exactly like Elliot did, like, does Glowking and then Darkrai. It's kind of nasty.
Yeah. I'm still sad that he got Glowking. I really wanted Glowking on my team.
I don't really see why the Kyurem team needs Chili Reception as much. Like, Baxcalibur team, I see that a lot more than the Kyurem team.
It's not exactly because of that. It's just because it was a really good, like, bulky core mon that also, like, synergized well with my team.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But he's channeling the exact Diancie set that I have in GWA.
Yeah. He talked about how his team is very similar to Paddy's team from last MMC. I think Paddy had the Glowking and the Darkrai and the Diancie.
Yep.
Maybe an Ogerpon as well, I don't know. If he had an Ogerpon.
I think so. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah. I'm honestly surprised how little Elliot has tried changing this team, to be honest.
It's my fault, because he has tried changing this team, and I'm like, no, you're making it worse.
Okay. Like, he's talked to me a few times, but it's not nearly as much as he normally does.
Oh, no, he hit me up way too many times. Always about
Okay.
Manaphy.
Yeah, that's sort of when he was hitting me up too. I think he hit both of us up about the same things, but while he doesn't hit you up as much in other leagues, like genuinely by now he would have like over 50 different teams made up. Like what? Like that's how it was for GWA. Like I literally had to deny him like over 100 different teams.
I find it very funny. I think Grace ended 12 minutes, and he already had a new team with 5 transactions. So he would have spent all his transactions 12 minutes after Grace ended if I didn't stop him.
Yeah, what an Elliot moment right there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see why.
You couldn't have thought of that like literally half an hour before, bro.
I don't see why he wants to change this. Like, sure, he is a little bit weak to ground type moves. Because his resist is Go-Goat, and Rotom Frost is his only immunity. But he's also not weak. Like, his best mons aren't that weak to ground either. Like, Glowking doesn't like it. But if you put a Chocoberry on Glowking, you're fine still.
Yeah, and like, it's not like he has like that many mons that are weak to ground. It's just
exactly.
Like Diancie doesn't count because that thing is tearing just about every week that it comes.
Yeah, and Tusk isn't weak to ground either because Tusk is so bulky on the defensive side. And if you really are fighting an Earth Power Pokemon, Glowking can check that even without a Chocoberry.
Yeah, or like, because kind of the only Earth Power mon that I really think of is Landorus Incarnate and
I
like
think about
Rotom
Blood Moon.
Frost.
Yeah.
Oh, Blood Moon also too. But yeah, he kind of has a bit of a rough matchup into Blood Moon, but at the same time, like
Rotom Frost with Terra of Steel just.
Yeah, especially defensive Rotom Frost with Terra Steel that just like handles it. And also, I don't think someone did draft. Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say no one drafted Blood Moon, but no. I see further down the line.
I have Blood Moon in GWA, and it does not appreciate Great Tusk, so he is fine.
Yeah.
It's going to kill maybe one, and then it's just going to die to Great Tusk. So he's fine.
I don't think he has anything to worry about. This is simultaneously.
Sorry.
Like, me and Elliot build like draft teams very similarly. We just play them very differently.
Yeah.
Because this is a team I would draft minus Go-Goat.
Really? Like, I like this team a lot more than the teams I've seen you draft.
I mean, like, kind of, but at the same time, you don't know how much Elliot helps me with building teams.
Usually I just say to Elliot, no, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this.
Like, for GWA at least, I'm pretty sure, like, he's the one who put me on Raikou. I can't remember who I had before my trades, but basically, like, most of the time, he's the one who convinces me to pick up some more, like, niche mons. And I'm the one who stops him from picking up Dedenne every week, every season.
Poor Dedenne.
Yeah, the Dragon Slayer.
But that thing came to more games than my Heracross did in regular season, which is hilarious.
That is pretty funny, yeah.
I mean, I really like this team.
I agree.
He has doubts about his Manaphy, but I'm like, it has Take Heart allowed now. I think it's really fun with Take Heart. And it's also not like, it's still bulky water type. Like, he doesn't have to be running at max speed, max special attack. You can just very easily run max HP, max defense with Take Heart and just be impossible to kill.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you there. And like, yeah, no like super reliable recovery, but like once you get like 2 Calm Minds up and you have that much Fizz Def, like then at that point you can just run Rest.
Yeah, exactly. It's once again happening. What? I was going to go to the damage calc. Hold on. Damage calc. Man, if it doesn't it get a single move that like heals it back up like Draining Kiss or something? Doesn't it get something like that?
I don't think so. I think it might get Life Dew, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's not the real move.
Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking too.
Nah, I don't see anything. Don't even see Live Dew. It's funny.
Man. Yeah, it doesn't really get that many.
Take Heart is in usually useless moves. What a crime.
Yeah, that is kind of a crime.
I mean, it gets knockoff too. It gets dual screens. It gets haze. This thing gets a lot. I really like it. Stored power, acid armor.
Yeah, stored power, calm mind, acid armor. Like, I could see it.
Take hard instead of calm mind now, so.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this Pokemon. I think it's good. And his Terra Caps are also really strong.
Yeah, I feel like with Take Heart, Manaphy is actually like a Pokemon.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm intrigued to see
so-
how it does. It
I
might
agree.
not be as much as we thought it would be. Like, it could just be the same Pokemon as it always has been. And then we just drop it to 15 or 14 with Take Heart still allowed. I don't know. But I'm intrigued to see how it does.
I agree, and I feel like the rest of his team will be really good to support it.
I really do like the Rotom Frost pickup. Because, like, with Terra Electric and Terra Steel, you don't have a ground weakness because you're Levitate. Terra Ghost to get your Stab Shadow Balls. And, like, Rotom Frost's main weakness is that you have to run Blizzard, but he does have a Cloaking. So, it's really good synergy.
Yeah, and also too with the Rotom Frost, I actually wanted Rotom Frost initially, but then I decided that I wanted Rotom Base,
Yeah.
and then he said he wanted Rotom Base,
Yeah, I know.
and then he picked up Rotom Frost instead.
It was very
so I
funny
changed
because
my entire team for that.
because I knew you wanted the Rotom base form, and then Elliot also showed me his team, and he also wanted the Rotom base form, and he picked before you. So I was like, oh, poor Steve. But I didn't want
And
to.
then you got
But I didn't want to
then
tell
you
you
got
because that's like using information for no reason. And then he still took the Rotom Frost for some reason. Probably because I think it's
Yeah.
a better Pokemon because it has a lot more base stats.
I agree. Rotom Frost with Terra is better in general than Rotom Base. I just like some of the things that Rotom Base like gave my team more, but then I built around different things, and I feel like this team is better than what I had.
Yeah. Like, the main weakness about Elliot's team is like the Go-Go and the Dunsparce. I don't like those Pokemon that much. Although Go-Go does have its usage, if you really want to bring it.
Yeah. I feel like you could have gotten a different like 2-point grass type. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what mons that we have in 2 points that are grass types that could be better.
Cacturn is worse.
Yeah.
Servine. I do like Servine, to be honest.
It's not the worst in the world. It's just not my favorite.
That's
Sawsbuck
it.
is there.
Oh yeah, Salzburg. Fake grass type.
Yeah. Maybe it's just me.
I think
But
it's
I'm
the
just
best
like-
grass type, to be honest, in 2.
Yeah. Because I see where he wanted the grass type because he wanted something to resist
Ground. Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like Terra Dunsparce would be better.
Yeah, I think I also told him that I would have liked Terra Dunsparce more. Especially because Gogo's role is the ground resist. Because like, if you are bringing Gogo and you Terra Ground or Terra Poison, you aren't the ground resist anymore.
Yeah.
So-
And
Oh, I know
And,
why
like,
he doesn't have Terra Dunsparce. Because like we were talking about it, but it also wants Fairy and Water as its Terra types, and he can't because Diancie already has those.
yeah, and it also would like Terra Steel too, which
Yeah.
he can't. And Terra Ghost.
It's the Terra rule. If we did have it allowed to have multiple of the same Terra types on the same team, then I think the Dunsparce would be a Terra Cap over the Go-Goat.
Yeah, I agree there. I can definitely see that. But for ranking wise, I
I think
A
this is
tier?
A tier, yeah. I'm fine with that.
don't know who he would be above or
he
below.
he is still the baby here, funny.
Still crying baby.
Can I? I probably can. Wait. Elliot, because I updated the team. Yeah, okay. Sorry, crying baby. You're gone. Okay, so where do we want to... I think this is worse than Paddy's. I think I like Paddy's more.
I think I agree.
And then we have Niv. Oh, they are...
I think they're very equal. I think it wouldn't
I like this more than Niv's.
I can see that. I see like certain aspects being better on each side, so I think they're very interchangeable. I think fairly tied, so I think it's kind of like meh who gets ranked above the other.
I think the thing with the Niv's team is it's just so textbook. This is how you build a draft league team. It's just draft for dummies. This is the team.
Yeah, I should make an entire video based around Niv's team.
Like, this team is just drafted. You will do well with this team, I feel like. Especially because
Yeah.
Niv is a good player too. This team has
Yeah.
a lot more personality to it. That's maybe why I like it more.
Maybe. Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think I'm fine with it too. But like all of these are a bit interchangeable. I think Mike is the clear winner in S tier, and then these four I think are fine either way. And then I think these four are also a bit better than these teams. So
Yeah, I think it's all somewhat interchangeable.
yeah,
Like,
in between
I
the
feel
tier,
like
it's quite interchangeable.
yeah, within the tiers, quite interchangeable. Like the top or the bottom, of each tier, I feel like could be like flip flopped. Aside from like Mike's, I think Mike's is very clear and far
Yes.
away like the best in the league.
I agree
So
with that.
I could, but like between you and me, like I could see either of us like jumping up to A or B, like depending on like the matchup and stuff and like how we play, like that
Yeah.
sort of deal. I could see like RK9er like bumping up to B and like vice versa. Like it all just depends on like the matchup and how the players play and everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't put too much emphasis on where you are in the list, in the tier. Like,
Yeah.
I think the tier is a better representative of the team than where you are in the tier.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then also too, like I would still say that there are no like objectively bad teams. Like even
No,
Milk's
definitely not.
team, even Milk's team like is still like competent to a degree as much as like they're memeing.
They
Like,
are
it's
all
still
huge
competent.
stat bots as well. Like, they are all legendaries. They all have more than 500 BST.
Yeah, like at the end of the day,
I can actually
There's
check
not a-
that. Hold on.
there's not a single bad team.
Because I do fight Milk. Wait. Where am I here? Here. I can actually check Milk's BST. Because my prep book has that. If it wants to load. Matchup Center. Week 8, I think. Pum. Team 8. Milk. Here. BST. No, it doesn't
Man.
show. No.
All greens in the BST stat is
Yeah.
kind of hilarious.
But like, they're all huge stat bots. So it makes sense why it's all green.
Yeah, like Milk's is far and away like the worst team, but like even then, like it's still like a competently made meme team.
Yes,
Like,
I agree with that.
Like it's not like someone who just draft all shitter Pokemon. like I've met some people who have had like 50 points left over just because they wanted to meme and pick all low tiers.
Yeah.
Okay, so now time for Fargo.
I'm just going to say it. I don't like the team because it is very, very Trick Room. And he knows it. And that's also his whole game plan, to be Trick Room. So I'm just not a fan of Trick Room. That's why I don't like the team.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I say too. As a Trick Room team, this is a good Trick Room team.
Oh, it's a
Like,
very good Trick Room team.
I just feel like Trick Room in singles is very not good.
Yeah. Like,
Because like
he would have
you
lost
just have-
Hatterene. I think with,
Hatterene would have been really good.
but like he has some tools. Like he mentioned, the Slowbro is better than the Galarian Slowbro because it has Oblivious. Never even thought about it. Because like for me, the Slowbros are both regenerated bots, but this thing
Yeah.
cannot get taunted, so you are guaranteed to get Trick Room up. And like Cresselia just runs the Mental Herb. Reuniclus can set up Trick Room and be a competent sweeper in the Trick Room. Like you just run the Magic Guard Live Orb set with Trick Room. Just go in, so
Yeah.
you don't have to switch. So he does have a lot of options, and then Ursaluna or Shifu Single Strike to go through Protect, because usually I kind of stall Trick Room with Protect. So Shifu Single Strike is really good against that. So it's a very good Trick Room team. It's
Yeah,
just,
it's
do,
just-
do we like Trick Room?
Yeah, what I would probably say would have been better is if like you dialed down the Trick Room a little bit and got a some more speed. Because like going so like having a Trick Room mode, I feel like is 100% valid, but having your entire team based around Trick Room, I feel like is sort of where you're like losing me a little bit, because like now your opponent has no reason to just not run like no speed like ever, because they know you're going for Trick Room. So like if they can outspeed you, then what's the point of running any speed? Like, you can just run like max attack, max bulk, and now what are they, like, what are you gonna do?
I never even thought about it like that. Yeah.
Like, because if they run like, you probably could run like a little bit of speed to outspeed a few things like outside of Trick Room. Like, I don't know exactly like what like
his fastest is Urshifu single strike.
Yeah, like maybe I could say like, if you're running Urshifu single strike with speed, you could just like speed creep like one or two things to outspeed Urshifu single strike with like max speed, like no like attack. Like if you're just getting outsped by Urshifu single strike, I feel like that's not that big of a deal when you're outspeeding the rest of the team.
I bet this is kind of heinous. Urshifu single strike hits 322 max. Dragon Ball needs 12 speed.
Yeah, exactly. 12 speed, and then you run like max in your attacking stat and then max in your bulk. Like, you have absolutely no reason to not do that. Yeah. And that's going to make it really hard to like get KOs on things.
Yeah. But like, I know why he did it. Like, I was the same about as you with don't lean into the Trick Room this much. But he was like, to bring Trick Room in singles, you need 3 setters in the game. Like, not 3 setters on your team of 11, but 3 setters of your team of 6. So he needed to have more than 3 Trick Room setters to feel comfortable with it. So I see it like Reuniclus, Cresselia, Trevin, and Slowbro. He has 4 setters, so he has options to set it. I just don't like the Trick Room ID that much.
Yeah, that's sort of how I am. Like, having a trick. One thing that I also would like to mention too, like Cress can, as a Trick Room setter, like you can always like do the lunar dance or whatever.
Oh yeah, true.
To like heal up something while like getting Trick Room up. So like, for example, it's like midway through the battle, one of your other Trick Room setters and attackers has gone down. Like Ursaluna's like very low on HP. Now you go into Cress, you Trick Room, and then you lunar dance, and then you get your Ursaluna back up with like the rest of the turns of Trick Room back. Like, that's probably like the best case scenario for your Trick Room team, I feel like, because Enamorus can do the same sort of thing. Like, it can do the same thing with Healing Wish. So like, if you can play around that, where you use one of your Trick Room setters to get one really good push, like initially, and then you use your second round of Trick Room to like Healing Wish up that same sweeper when they're so broken, I feel like that's going to be like the best case scenario for your Trick Room team. If you can't do that, I feel like it's going to be a really big struggle.
Yeah. My main thing is just like Ursaluna, before it dropped from like the Pokemon Home update, we were talking about it being an Uber's Pokemon, and it never lived up to the hype because like everyone's starting to run Trick Room, and it just wasn't that good. Like, most people could just find a way to play around Trick Room. And that was when it was just on the OU ladder, when you don't have a team counter-teaming Trick Room. Here in draft, when you know it's coming, I think it should be fine. And like, I just can't help to shake the feeling that I would have really liked King Gambit on this team, because I'm pretty sure it's still undrafted. Yeah, like King Gambit is available.
Yeah, it was dropped at some point. I know it was picked up, but I think it was dropped in Grace.
I think he picked it up and then dropped it again because he got the Urshifu single strike.
Oh, yes, I think that's what happened, yeah.
But like King Gambit, you just run at him with no speed all the time. You hit really hard. And even then, when you don't have Trick Room up, you just have the Sucker Punch, and it helps with your Lunar Dancing Cresselia and with your Healing Wish in Enamorus to just boost your Supreme Overlord. I would have really liked King Gambit on this team.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. And then for like Terra Captains, I feel like Alola Slash is just not good.
Yeah, like, he doesn't have snow.
Like, what I would probably say, like, I know they're not available, but if you had like a Chili Reception Pokemon, like, so then like now you have a Mon that can go fast, like outside of Trick Room. So like, I feel like that would have helped you out a lot better if you had that option. Like, even like just any weather with a weather boosting ability of some kind, like even going like a bomb, like you were showing, like Obama Snow over like Trevenant or something like that.
Like, I was looking at Obama Snow because like it can also function in Trick Room, but it's just not strong enough.
Yeah, it's not strong enough, but like you can get Aurora Veil up, which helps a lot with like being able to set up. Because if you decide that okay, maybe Trick Room isn't the best here, but you still want to run like, I could see you running like an Aurora Veil team, like with like Alola Sandslash and Glastrier. Like I could 100% see that being a possible option. I just feel like you need to have another mode in your team that allows you to go fast.
Yes.
Or have like more priority or something, because you can't just run Trick Room every single week, because there are going to be some weeks where Trick Room is not going to be good. Like look at Elliot's team, for example. Diancie.
Yeah. Scizor,
like,
Cloaking.
Yeah, like all those mons are not good for your Trick Room team. And hell, like Diancie could literally just run Trick Room just to oppose your Trick Room.
Yeah, Trick Room against my team would be kind of nasty though.
Yeah, like it's a bit of a matchup fish is what I'm saying, and you don't want to build your entire team around a matchup fish.
Yeah. It's just a bit of an unfortunate team, because like he has 6 Terra points remaining, because his Glastrier is Terra Band, Uniclus is Terra Band, and all the Trick Room Pokemon are all in like this midpoint cluster, so nothing can Terra. I would have liked the Galarian Slowbro still over the other Slowbro to get more points, and you could just Terra the Galarian Slowbro then, but he really wanted the Oblivious over the Quick Draw, so...
Yeah, and I also kind of agree, like, with you, that Quick Draw would have been nice just as another form of speed. Like, granted, it's like a chance, so it's like not 100% reliable, but like any form of like priority on this team, I feel like would help. Like priority or another speed mode, like something along those lines, I feel like would be very important.
His only priority is the Urshifu, I think, unless like Trevenant gets Shadow Sneak.
I don't know if it does.
Oh, Alola Slash gets Ice Shard, but like,
yeah,
meh. Ice Shard and Alola Slash, I'm not that scared of, to be honest.
Yeah, and I don't think Alola Slash is even going to be coming many weeks.
Especially when you have a Glastrier, like, that's what confuses me. You don't have Snow to make it fast, so you have to just use it as an Ice type in Trick Room, but then Glastrier is just so much better as that, so...
Yeah, that's sort of where I'm at. It's like, as a Trick Room team, it's very well made. I feel like if this was like a VGC draft, this would be really good. But
I would have gotten the Alolan Executor over the Sandslash, for example, if you run Trick Room, because this thing gets Trick Room as well. I would have gotten that thing, or like even the Medicham probably gets Trick Room too.
I don't know if it does, but it might. I do see where you're coming from.
I can check Medicham. Oh, it's base 80 speed. I didn't even know that. Does get Trick Room though.
Oh yeah, but that would be a third Psychic type, so I can see it.
I mean, if you lean into Trick Room, he also has 3 Psychic types.
Oh, fourth Psychic type, I meant to say.
Yeah. He's just going to accept that he's weak to Dark and Ghost. But it's also not too bad to be weak to Dark and Ghost when you have a Urshifu Single Strike. So
yeah. The only issue is like being weak to Dark and Ghost. A lot of those mons like to also run Fairy coverage.
Yeah.
But yeah, like as a Trick Room team, it's very well made. It's very competent, but I don't think...
just as a draft league team, it's going to suffer, I think.
Yeah,
I think we're both kind of in agreement that it just goes here.
Yeah, and it's like, this is also, too, just like, we want you to prove us wrong. Like, show us the power of Trick Room. Like, at the end of the day, like, this is not anything, like, on, like, your ability as a drafter. So don't take this, like, at all personally. This is just
well drafted for what he wants it to do. It's just, we don't like what he wants to do.
Yes, that's exactly it. Like, it's all just, we don't see the power of Trick Room. So if you pop off with it, like, more power to you.
Yeah, like, if this team works, it just goes up here immediately. Well, I don't know if it will work.
Yeah, because, like, I've never seen, like, a full Trick Room team actually work in draft. So if you do end up making it work, I could definitely see it jumping up. But just for now, since we haven't seen anything like that, and just on paper, like, Trick Room in singles just isn't that good. So we kind of just gotta go based off of what we know right now.
Yeah. It's still a good team. It's just, in our opinion, going to be difficult to make it work. But like
Yep,
Steve said,
exactly.
prove us wrong.
All right, and now for
Last
the
team.
final team.
I find this a really interesting team.
It is fairly interesting, yeah.
Like
I
Urshifu
don't know
Rapid
how to feel
Strike
about
round
it.
1.
Fraud of a Pokemon.
I always said if I wanted a Dragon Ball team that I wanted to try hard with, I wanted Urshifu Rapid Strike. And that just got taken out immediately, which is kind of funny. I wouldn't even call it a snipe. It was just like, wow, Urshifu Rapid Strike round 1. I don't think it's drafted in GWA.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of Urshifu Rapid Strike. Like, I just don't like it. I just don't love it. It's not for me. The round 2 Pecharunt's also very funny.
Yeah, but I can kind of see it. Because if you want it that much, he had to bank on it, making it to round 4, basically, as being wheel pick. So,
Yeah.
it probably makes it to round 4. But if you really want it, I can see why you take it this early.
Yeah, I can see it too. And I mean, like, clearly ended up working out. Like, he has Blood Moon, he has Heatran, Florges, Arboliva. This team is just so super fucking bulky.
Like, Wish Pass into Heatran, Parting Shot into Blood Moon, Arboliva with the stupid grassy terrain for Heatran, for Blood Moon. Nah.
Yeah.
If Fargo has
then-
to fight this team, he is in for a tough battle. Because this team is also slow.
Yeah, this team is also very slow, very, very bulky.
Like, this team wouldn't have minded the Trick Room mode.
Yeah, it really wouldn't have minded it. But too bad Fargo took all of the trick rumors.
Exactly. Like, he doesn't have a single option, which is funny to me.
I'm just like looking at the team and I'm just like Lapras, just not good.
I don't know.
Like,
I like Lapras.
I don't know. Every time I've seen it, it's just not been good.
I 6-0'd once with Lapras. It wasn't low tier, but I did 6-0 once with Lapras.
Interesting. I love Terra Arboliva. I feel like Terra Fire sucks on this Pokemon though.
It's interesting. It's an offensive Terra type. Like, I really like Terra Fire on my grass types if I want to run offensive.
That's fair.
You just
but,
hit the fire types, you just hit the steel types, the bug types, and the grass types that your grass typing can't hit. And if you fight an opposing fire type, you aren't weak to it either, so it's really good with the grass typing.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm also personally someone who's just like, I would much rather
Poison.
Yeah, I just love my Poison Arboliva.
Yeah.
Like, it is crazy how well Terra Poison Arboliva has been like working.
I really like Terra Poison too on the Arboliva. What I dislike...
like,
oh, sorry, you go first.
I can see the reason why he didn't go for it, mainly just because he has Pecharunt, but I do kind of like the idea of having like a specially defensive like Poison type option instead of Pecharunt, because I feel like Poison is oftentimes like the things that you're weak to are like Psychic and Ground mainly, and like Pecharunt could be like Pecharunt eats Earthquakes pretty easily. And then Arboliva would eat like
Eats Earthquakes too,
easily.
with the Seed Sour.
And then Arboliva would eat like Psychic type moves very easily. Like, I feel like it would be good that way. But in all honesty, like looking at it, like Terra Fairy is probably just better on this team in particular anyways.
Yeah, that's true. I would have just wanted
Okay.
him to go for the Terra Normal, because then he didn't have to take the Lapras and he could have kept his Sceptile. I really don't know why he didn't want the Terra Normal either on the Arboliva. Like,
Yeah.
Terra Grass
see
Arboliva.
any reason.
Are you ever going to click Terra Grass on your Arboliva?
Yeah, the only time I even like contemplated it was with like a Leaf Storm variant, with like an offensive Leaf Storm variant, but even then it's like,
I would have really liked Sceptile on this team. Obviously, I am a bit biased towards Sceptile. But it would have been a fast Pokemon on his team as well. Sure, it doesn't have the speed tier because it's the same as Inteleon. But you're just on Unburdened Sceptile with Terra Flying and Ground, and then obviously your Terra Grass.
yeah.
And you are really good. It would have helped so much. Obviously, Lapras isn't a bad Pokemon, I do like it too. But I would have just gone the Terra Normal on Arboliva route and then kept Sceptile over Lapras.
Yeah, I agree. I can definitely see that for sure. But otherwise, like Blissey, just fat fucking Pokemon, especially when you look at the rest of how fat his team is.
So on a real, do you think this team is less tall than my MMC team last time? Because I think this team is worse than mine. As a stall, if you hate stall, I mean. Like, he also has the Blissey. He has a Florges, which I didn't have. He has a Petulant, which in my opinion is as toxic as Gliscor. Heatran for Corviknight. Arbolova, I didn't even have that. Rotom Heat, I didn't even have that. A Prankster Volbeat, I didn't have that either. I think this team is more stall than my MMC team.
I think I think it has more like stall It's weird.
It's not a stall team. It isn't a stall team, I know. But I think it's more of a stall team than my MMC team was. So I'm just saying that I didn't have an MMC stall team last time.
You just ran it as a stall team.
I did not. I ran it as fake stall. I just ran it as stall against you in playoffs.
Yeah, made me sad. But like I look at some of these mons, like I've seen like nasty plot Petra run. I've seen like offensive Heatran. Like I've seen that sort of thing.
We've also seen offensive Corviknight and Gliscor. You're just hating.
I mean, yeah, but like, I don't know. For whatever reason, in my brain, I just see those mons as being more offensive than the other two. But I'd say it's at the bare minimum on par, stall wise. Like, bare minimum on par.
I'm not saying it is a stall team. So FinalCrusader, it is not a stall team in my opinion. I'm just saying it looks as bad as mine was as a stall team. So
he's just trying to beat the stall allegations.
Definitely am.
But yeah, I don't know. I think this team is just kind of eh.
Yeah, me too. Like
it has some really good spots, but I feel like other things could be better about it.
Yeah, like I compare it to my MMC team, and I also think my MMC team was kind of eh last time. I didn't like it.
Yeah.
So
I could see this team being like low B, high C, or like mid C, like mid C to low B. I could see it.
I would put it as the lowest in B.
I could see that.
Because like, oops, wrong one. He still has Heatran, Blood Moon, or Shifu Rapid Strike as insane offense, and they do pair well together. Especially with Arboleva as well. I think it pairs better
Setting
together than both of these teams. Than ArchDon and then Arcaniner. So I would put him here, I think.
Yeah, but now Dries, now we have to ask the question: do we want to leave it there, or do we want to bump it down to top of C just so it's all in line?
Oh, that's an easy question.
There we go.
That's an easy question. Look at our MMC, doc, if we go to draft board. Yeah. See, and this annoys me, because we put something in 9 points, and they lowered it. The Reuniclus it was. Because we did the steering, and it was all the same. It was so satisfying. Yeah. We just like our symmetry.
We really do. It's our autism.
Yeah. Undiagnosed though. On my part at least.
I'm diagnosed. I have the certificate.
Oh yeah, okay. I should stop talking about it then on my side because I do not have it. Sorry.
It's all fine. I don't care.
Okay.
But yeah, honestly, I feel like there's not much I would really change about this. I think this is all like fairly like box standard.
Like I would put this here, but we do symmetry here, so sorry, FinalCrusader. And then for the order, it's fine. Like we could change some things around, but like, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't really mind it too much. Like I would probably flip flop one or two things, but like generally speaking, like the main things are there. Like Mike's team, obviously the best in our opinions, at least. I think Paddy and like Elliot are like up there for like 2, 3, and then like. Then besides that, basically anyone can be flip-flopped up or down, like 1 or 2 tiers, like depending on like how they play and everything, how they decide to utilize their teams. Because also too, like we also have to keep in mind, like these aren't our teams. We haven't like thoroughly thought through as much stuff as some of the other coaches have. Like,
And our
they're always
draft-
going to have more insight.
Yeah, like our draft analysis is still quite in depth, but it's not close to the 7 hours that we had for GWA, so it's not as in depth as it could have been.
Yeah, and and exactly, even if we go that deep, like, still we weren't the ones drafting it. We
Yeah.
weren't the ones like slaving away over the speed tiers and like the tight matchups and like the move sets and like what kind
The
of
weird
synergies
decks,
each of the mons can have. Like, we haven't like fully gone through that. We can only sort of judge it on the surface level. So like, and I think Fargo's team is the biggest example of that, because like he's kind of just like the ones where like if it works, it would immediately go into A tier.
Exactly.
But since we haven't really seen like a Trick Room team like that work out before, we can't really have like much to go off of, because like we only have our preconceived notions that Trick Room in singles is bad.
Yeah, it's also just personal bias. Because when I look at this tier list, I feel like we may be underrating Niv and his squad drivers a little bit. Because we both know Elliot and Paddy very well. And I know Niv,
True.
Niv a little bit from VDL. But it's not like I know him very well. And like, if Elliot drafted this team, I think we would probably put it here or here.
Yeah, I could definitely see where you're coming from there for sure.
Because like, it's very textbook, and that's maybe why we don't like it as much. But like, if you put the textbook team on a player that we know really well, we may probably like it more. So
yeah,
I think I feel more.
Honestly
I
very
feel
accurate.
more comfortable doing this. I still like these two teams more, but I think this is maybe objectively a better team.
I could see that. I would be fine with that. And like we were saying, like between 2, 3, and 4, like this kind of toss up.
We also know Mike really well, so he's just sandwiched between everyone we know really well, and then it's us too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And then everyone else behind us are people like we aren't as familiar with.
That
well,
you
maybe
are,
you
Mr.
are, but
yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Maybe I got some MMC bias.
Yeah, we probably both do have a little bit of MMC bias.
Yeah,
So-
probably a little bit, but again, take all of our opinions with a grain of salt. Like,
Take Steve's opinions with a grain of salt. Mine are
Hey,
facts.
fuck you.
My monetizing, no.
No. It's well past the 2-minute mark. You're fine.
Cool. Otherwise, this would have been me.
True.
Yeah. I think we're
but
fine
yeah.
keeping it at this.
I think so too. I think this is pretty much how I'd like to leave it as well.
Yeah.
Take
So-
your screenshots.
Yeah. I'll put it in the chat after I uploaded this, but you have to watch the full 2-hour VOD first.
Yep. You can't look at the tier list before the video. You have to watch it all.
If I really want to be a hater, I don't even put timestamps for your own team. Just watch it all.
True.
I don't know yet. I'll see if I'm nice or am I a hater.
All right.
Thanks
I need to go eat lunch now.
Yeah, my food is coming in 20 minutes, so nice timing. Thanks for doing this,
sure.
Steve.
Of course, I'm happy to be here. Time for me to pop over to Kenny here tomorrow to do the Showdown League PRs.
Very nice, very nice. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Any last words?
Go subscribe to the Steve SBU channel.
Exactly. It will be linked in the title and in the description, as well as all the other coaches that are uploading.
Hell yeah. And keep an eye out. I think I'll be uploading this season, depending on how much time I have. But keep an eye out for that. And I'll be for sure having more GWA videos coming out with playoffs and everything, as well as a new league that I'm going to be in as well, with some pretty interesting picks.
Yeah, I know. It's going to be very fun to watch. So yeah, definitely go subscribe to Steve and to all the other coaches in the league. Although if you're watching this still, you are probably already subscribed to everyone.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and we will see you on our channels for the respective week ones and future weeks, because I am peer pressuring Steve into uploading now. Yeah. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Peace.
Peace.